I mean, you probably had to go up a mountain a couple, 2-3 miles, I bet, to get to a treed bear, right?
The furthest one I killed was 7.5 miles from a road.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that Maine or New Hampshire?
It was in the White Mountains. It was on the backside of Lafayette.
Oh, my God. Was it a big one?
It was over 400.
Did you hate yourself after you pulled the trigger when you realized what you had in front of you?
I was just seeing red.
How long did that take you?
3 days.
Are you serious?
Yeah. We didn't
3 days.
We didn't drag it out though.
Did you quarter it?
Yeah, we quartered it, but
3 days.
that's the only time in my life I almost died
From
a
heart attack?
From hypothermia.
All right, tell that story then. You got to tell the whole story. Tell the. This is crazy.
Welcome to the Just Hunt podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Just Hunt podcast, episode 47.
Mm-hmm.
Matt tells me. Just checked with him. Tonight we have an in-house guest, Lucas Benoit. Thanks for coming, man.
No problem.
We're going to talk a little bit about what we got on the table here. Lucas had a heck of a year. He seems to have a lot of years like that, though, so I don't think it's too far out of the ordinary for him. But, yeah, we're just going to talk some deer and probably some bear stuff, too, and have a good evening. I'm kind of captivated by antlers, so whenever there's antlers in front of me, I just can't really think. I just stare at them.
How many inches antler we have right here?
I mean, they're all probably close to 130, right? If not, this one maybe a touch better.
No, I think that was 128 something.
Okay. Close.
That one was like Champa said it was like 111.
Yeah, he's got his short tape out. 111?
He's got some
maybe,
character though.
Yeah. He looks better because he's got essentially has no brow tines. Yeah. And I guess
the mass on that beam.
But the mass and the character, I mean, he's freaking sweet, man. That's a cool buck. Did you know this one?
Just this
year?
This summer, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was a new piece I just found this spring.
Oh, okay.
So.
He's sweet. So this was, I guess, to introduce you a little bit, Lucas Benoit, you are New Hampshire hunter, but hunt all over, mostly Northeast, right? PA and New England states, yeah. You kind of do it all, really. Bow hunt, track, stand hunt. And big thing that is interesting I want to talk to you a little about tonight is the dogs, because you run bear dogs and you're pretty big into it, and I think it's pretty cool, and I want to pick your brain a little bit about it because I've never done it. I want to, and I know you've been asking me to come out, and I want to get out. It's just timing thing, but it will happen. But anyway, I want to talk about these quick. So this one was first in New Hampshire early archery bow season.
Yeah.
Is that September? Or?
Yeah, 21st.
Yeah. Nice. So like
the first
a weekend.
The first Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And what was a quick story on this guy?
So I found this piece back in I guess it was this past spring. I was doing some shed hunting and checking a bunch of new spots, and I found this piece, and it was just, I love the way it was set up. I didn't even know if there's really anything in there.
Yeah.
But I did find some scrapes, and there was a bunch of government land there, so I could run some cameras in there. So I got back in there in probably August, I guess, and hung a couple cameras, and this buck in a 8-pointer that wasn't quite as big was in there. And fast forward to September, there was a hill in this piece, and there was 2 or 3 different cuts in there, and they're all different ages. And then on the top of the hill, there was a selective cut that ran up the kind of the spine of it, and there was a bunch of white oak right on the spine.
Oh, shit.
And then it kind of flattened out on that spine, and it went up to one last hump. And on the very top hump was a bunch of like fir and spruce, and then it transitioned into solid oaks on the south side of it. But on that lower spine, there was like 10 white oaks in there, and like 5 of them produced.
Were they big trees?
Not
super big?
Not super big,
yeah,
no.
Okay.
How big are these cuts, just for like scale?
I mean, they're, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 acres.
Okay.
Yeah, they're decent
Pretty
size.
big.
Yeah.
But some of them are, I don't even know how old they are. I mean, they could be 10 years old. They're really thick.
Yeah.
Really thick. I mean, you can't hunt them.
Yeah.
They're just super thick.
I know the kind.
So, but coming up out of that really, really thick cut, it was a super steep hill going up to that spine. And right off the end of that spine, it dropped off the other direction down to a really big body of water. And on that steep side hill going down to the body of water was all like wide open, mature hemlock. Like nothing would, you're not going to find deer in there. But so right off the end of that spine, it kind of was this transition from the steep side towards the cut and the steep side towards the big body of water. And there was a game trail that was just carved into the bank, and it was just rototilled. And usually when I find runs like that, there's not big bucks using them. But in this case, he was. I don't know why. And he was using that to go up on that spine where those white oaks were. So the opening day of bow season, I went in the afternoon and I accessed from the main road where I usually went in to scout and everything. And there was a main logging road that went in there, and I thought I could just walk up that and be fairly quiet and get in there pretty effectively. But as soon as I hit that first cut, I jump a deer up. I heard it crash out through that cut. I was like, oh, that's too bad, but I'm still like 600 or 700 yards from where I wanted to be. So I'm like, it's probably not the one I want. So I get all up there, and I go up that steep hill, and I get up on the top, and I'm standing there, and I'm right on this run where I wanted to be, where it was coming off the next top, because there had been deer coming off that top. They were bedding up there, coming down off that top to the white oaks, and there was other deer coming up from the bottom to the white oaks. And I wanted to hunt that run coming down off the very top, and I couldn't find a tree I wanted to get in that was going to give me a shot opportunity. So I'm like, I'm just going to go down the ridge like another 40, 50 yards. And I went maybe 30 yards down the ridge, and a freaking another deer took off. He was right there. He went crashing off that. I'm like, that was probably him.
Did you see him or no?
Nope.
Oh,
I just heard him. I was like, that was probably him. So I set up anyways.
What are you running? Are you in a saddle or stand?
I just stand.
What do you run for a?
I just had a Novix with some sticks.
Okay, gotcha.
So I climb up, and then it gets to be like, I don't know, maybe half hour, 45 minutes before dark, and I see this deer coming up through, and it was the other 8-pointer that was in there. He was still in velvet, and he came up to like 50 yards, and he was feeding on a bunch of oak, and he never came.
So were you? It was the white oaks?
Yeah.
So you're right on him pretty much. Okay.
They were kind of spread out across that. They were probably maybe 150 yards
throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
Could you see all of them, open enough up there to see all of them, or you were just seeing?
I could only see most of them.
Most of them. Okay, gotcha.
But there was sections I couldn't see. And he fed up through, and he went up over the top, and he dropped back down over the other side, and he never came in range. And then the rest of that week, my cameras were all dead in there. I mean, I blew the place out. So
yeah,
I was like, all right, so we got to rethink the access. So come Saturday, because I think it started on Monday this year.
I don't recall. Could have been, yeah.
So come Saturday, I went in there in the morning, in the dark. I parked like a mile the other direction, and I hiked in like a mile up the edge of that big body of water, and I came up over that steep bank and got up onto the top from the backside, because at that case I'd be coming in from the south, because the big body of water is from the south. But it was a huge pain in the ass to come in from that way. But I came in from that way, and I got up in there, and like an hour after dark, I had that other 8-pointer come
Same one.
Yep.
Oh shit.
And he
So how close were you to your first setup? Or were you in the same spot?
Probably 50 yards.
Okay, so same
I
spot.
was I was set up where I wanted to set up.
Gotcha.
The first time I went in there, and he came right from where I was set up before, And somehow he busted me. I only, because I could hear him walking, and I kind of stood up and I'm looking down. I couldn't see him. And eventually I heard him stomping, and then I caught him take off. I'm like, I don't know how he busted me, but because he was probably 40, 50 yards away. So he took off, and I ended up getting a picture of him coming off the other end. That's all I knew, it was the same one. So then the next morning, I was like, all right, I'm going to do the same thing, because I still hadn't seen him back in there.
Yeah.
So I came up in the same way, but I ended up coming up over that bank, and I ended up sitting on the lower edge of that spine. So I was probably 200 yards down the ridge.
Yeah.
And it was like 7:30 in the morning. I hear a branch break, and I look, and he's just coming up that cutout trail.
Really?
Up over the bank. And I shot him at like 17 yards.
Oh, shit. So he was bedding high then, probably?
Yeah,
You think he was going back?
He was going up on top.
Yeah.
He was breaking feet a
hit
little
on
bit and
oaks
bed right
maybe?
there.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Sweet.
But he wasn't afraid to walk around in the daylight by any means.
Guess not.
When you say it was
buck.
a pain to get in that way, how far did you have to go out and around?
It was probably close to a mile. Yeah.
Mm.
And then this one was next?
Yes.
And this is, we kind of just told me the story before, but so this is New Hampshire rifle buck. So New Hampshire archery. I don't know if it's I don't know if we'll say New Hampshire. Or you want to just say New England, whatever. Yeah. I don't want to.
I met, so the saying, so that I shot that the last day of rifle season.
Okay.
But that last week of rifle season, we finally got snow that week, and that day we had the snow. I think it was on Wednesday maybe. I went out and I got on a good buck, and I followed him and shot him at like 12:30. I made a marginal shot, and I followed him for the rest of the day. Saw him 2 more times, never got another shot, and then I went back the next day, got on his track, and the coyotes had got on him, and they ended up pushing him into the town road, which was plowed. And I couldn't figure out where he went up or down the road. I went up and down the road a long ways, and I could never figure out where he came out of the road. So I ended up losing that deer, and somebody ended up finding him a few weeks later.
Dead?
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
But so that was the first day we had snow, which was on Wednesday.
Of course, you didn't know that at the time, any of this at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
So Thursday I tried finding him, and I couldn't figure out where he went up from the road. So it was like, I don't know, 11:30. I quit on that, and I went and started driving some snowmobile trails, some roads, trying to find another buck track. And I ended up finding one at probably 12:30 or so. I was driving on this road, and there was a couple deer tracks in the road, so I got out to look at them. And I followed them like 20 yards in the woods, and they were all feeding around, and all of a sudden there's bound marks. I'm like, oh, these things are just standing right here when I just pulled up. So, and one of them looked like a pretty decent buck, so I gave him like a half hour and got out and started following him. And I went, I don't know, maybe 600 yards, jumped him up, never saw him, and followed him a little further, jumped him again, and they were bedding both times. I didn't see him. And then I went maybe another half mile, and I could tell they were going to bed up again. The wind was blowing pretty good, and it was right in my face, and I started creeping really well. And I ended up catching him bedded at like 80 yards. I think it was a nice 10-pointer. And all I could see was the half of his neck and his head. Mm-hmm. And I put it right below his ear, and I touched it off. I never touched that deer. He took off out of there. So that was that day, and then I didn't go out Friday. I had to work. So then Saturday, I go out to where this buck was. First time I'd been in there, and I followed his track. I found it and followed maybe 300 yards to the edge of this clear cut. And there was a bed right on the edge of the clear cut. And there was fresh tracks coming out of that, and then he was feeding around in the corner of the clear cut, and then there's bound marks right there. So he had watched me come up to the edge of the clear cut, and I'd only been on him for like 300 yards, so I wasn't even really hunting yet. And I followed him a few hundred yards more, and there's just all deer tracks going everywhere, and he didn't have a big foot, so I left him and went looking for something bigger. And I ended up finding a bigger one and following him the rest of the day and jumped him a couple times, but never got a look at him. So then the next day, which is Sunday, which is the last day of the season, I go back in there, and I made this huge swing, and I'm kind of looking for a deer track, but at the same time I wasn't. I was kind of just hunting because at this point the snow is 5 days old, and there's just tracks everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And unless you find a giant, you're never gonna be able to follow it anyways.
Right.
So I was hunting along, and I get up to the top side of the clear cuts, and I'm kind of working my way across the top, and I'm kind of just peeking down into the clear cuts because that's where he was feeding the morning before, and there was also a bunch of other deer in there feeding around. And I ended up peeking down over the top, and I caught him down in the bottom, standing right in the same tracks as the day before, just feeding still, and I ended up shooting him right there.
You got that one.
That buck you shot that the other guy found later on, how far did he make it?
From where I lost him in the road, it was maybe a half mile.
Yeah. So it still would have been pretty tough to find him. Yeah,
he was right there, though. I don't know how long it was until he died, but there was 2 or 3 coyotes on him when I was following his tracks.
Did you have any indication of where you hit him? Or
I hit him in the hind end.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was able to. Yeah, sometimes those dogs eat. There's nothing left of them, so you don't even know. But gotcha. I want to back up real quick because I meant to ask you this. Are you finding? Sounds like I don't find many white oaks, especially not outside of low ground. Are you finding many in many areas?
There's pockets, yeah.
Yeah, you are finding them? Interesting. Yeah, I really have had, honestly, in the last...
I don't think north of us very far here there is any. But south of here there's...
Yeah. I mean, I used to hunt south of here, and, I found, you'd find some pockets, but, lately, I can think of, maybe 1 or 2 pockets that I know of in the last decade that I've found legit. So it's just interesting when I hear people talk about white oaks. I'm like, where do you find these damn white oaks? I don't find white oaks.
I know where there's patches of 50, 60 acres of white oaks.
Yeah.
But I found those from bear hunting.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense because you'd think those bears would be right in. They're still on them during dog season though, huh? Those whites. They're not cleaned up. There's enough of them, you think, some years?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a spot this year we killed one that dressed 286 out of there.
Yeah.
And that's the third. I mean, we killed 2 out of over 300 out of that same patch of white oaks.
Okay.
So you kill one, and 2 or 3 years later, it's just another one will move in.
Are you? What is your best guess on how often they produce around here?
Every 3.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not every year.
No, I found that too. I mean, sometimes I feel
and
like
I found
it's been
that
5 years.
the smaller trees produce more often than the bigger ones. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, the white oaks to me are a mystery around here. I feel like I've never. The only buck I killed on white oaks around here was that one right there, the third one in. And that was a long time ago. But
I've got 3 or 4 of them right around my backyard. And I'd say that's pretty accurate. The every other.
I feel like it's more than that. But like I said, I haven't had a ton of experience. I just don't seem to. I don't know. I just don't see very many of them. I've seen tons of reds, but
the thing is, it only takes one to draw everything within a mile of there.
100%. I feel like if it's in the right spot,
and as long as the bear's not there, because
But I'm sure that a lot of them, the bears they know.
That's the problem with it. Though. The bears are gonna be there, and the deer aren't gonna be there.
Yeah, I feel like if it's in the right spot,
and the bears are gonna eat most of the nuts before they even hit the ground.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah,
I mean,
right, they're up in the. Yeah.
You can always tell the white oaks that produce because it's just leaders. There's no secondary branches coming off them because over the years they've always ripped them off.
Makes a lot of sense. I feel like it can be awesome if the stars align. They're deadly, but I feel like it hasn't other than that one buck there. I'm trying to think if there's any bears in there. Not that I remember. That was
the weird thing about where that bow buck was, is there wasn't any bears in there. And I don't understand why.
Should have there been, you think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. 40-acre cuts. Yeah.
There definitely should have been bears in there.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I wonder what. You just never know. So okay, and then this last one. This is a cool one. So you we're gonna start to move these because I feel like I'm gonna too many antlers. Can't focus. grab that one. So this is the one you killed on the Legend. What do they call it? The Legends hunt?
Legends Deer Camp.
The Legends Deer Camp. That's right. You got. So what was the story on that? You got drawn. Was it at HuntStand?
I think.
How did that happen?
It was after HuntStand. But yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, they had a thing online. You put your name in and they draw.
Oh, so it wasn't a HuntStand thing.
It was for HuntStand, but they drew one name at HuntStand from the people that were at HuntStand.
Okay.
And then they had another. The second person they drew from a pool of people that put in online.
Okay. Gotcha. So that was in December?
It was
December muzzleloader?
The last day of December.
Jesus. Goodness, fairly quick hands. So you were. So who is that? Who was actually at that camp? Who else was it? You. So you won it, and then who was? There was another guy.
Yeah, another guy from Mass.
From Mass.
Yeah.
Do you remember what his name was?
I think it was Steve.
Steve. Gotcha.
Terrible name.
Yeah. So who was in? It was you, Steve. I don't know Steve's name, but shout out to Steve.
Two Pats.
The two Pats, Pat Guyette and Pat
Burns.
Pat Burns, and then
Jeff Doyle.
Okay.
Neil Pendleton.
Yep.
Lee Libby.
Yep.
Lanny Benoit.
Yep.
Rick Labby.
Yep.
Dan
and
Infall.
Yep. And then his buddy.
And,
what's his name?
Ibrahim.
They call him something goofy. What do they call him? Remember that?
Ricky Poo.
Ricky Poo. That's right. I remember seeing. I saw something where somebody was calling him Ricky Poo.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. So that was pretty sweet, like fun and interesting to see.
Yeah, it was a good
everybody
time.
Yeah. So what was the story? Did like people hunt together, or did you just kind of go off on your own, or like was it a kind of a combination?
Some days, some guys hunted together. Some days, and
Yeah.
The first day, I think everybody kind of went their own way.
Yeah.
And that day sucked. It was
Really?
pouring rain out.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was just soaked. And I think Neil saw a good rack buck that day. And Dan, I think, saw a spike, and muzzleloader didn't go off. I didn't see anything. And I think Rick saw a couple deer he thought were bucks, but couldn't see antlers on them.
How much snow did you have? Because I know there was snow, right?
Yeah, there's probably 6-8 inches.
Okay.
Was it foggy with the rain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just one of those miserable days.
Mm.
Just cold once you get.
Yeah.
And then so the next day, that rain ended up turning to snow that night, and we got a decent amount to kind of give you a clean slate the next day. And the next day was super windy.
Okay.
And we were having like whiteouts that day too.
Oh, really?
Yep. And
did they move at all? Did they lay many tracks down, or?
we could find tracks.
Okay.
Yeah. And when you did find one, it was really good condition to catch up with them. So I ended up seeing a few deer, and one of them, which I'm pretty sure was a buck, which didn't have antlers.
Oh, okay.
And then me and Rick were up on the same ridge, and he saw a buck quite a few times and could never put antlers on it. And
was it Chet out, do we think? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Not the one you saw?
No, I think it was different deer.
Different deer, okay, yeah.
And I think Jeff Doyle might have missed one, hit a tree that day. And I don't remember if anybody else really saw any bucks. But so then the third day, which was the last day, I ended up going an hour north to a place I'd never been before. And I just found it on Onyx and thought it looked good. So I got up in there, and there was a bunch of deer in there. And I ended up I saw, I don't know, probably 10 deer. And then I was just kind of still hunting around because there was just so many deer tracks in there. Ended up coming up over this hill, and I looked off to my left at like 45 yards, and there was a couple big blowdowns, and I caught this deer right up against a blowdown. It was kind of like a little bit of a depression in the ground. Yeah. And all it was sticking up above it was like from his throat patch up, and I could see his rack and his face looking at me, frontal. And
was he bedded?
Yeah, he was bedded.
Oh, shit.
He was bedded in that depression.
Right in that little hole. Yeah.
All it was sticking up was like the top half of his neck and his face, just
That's cool.
looking at me.
How far?
Like 40, 45 yards.
Damn, nice.
So I shot him right below the chin.
Yeah.
Facing me.
That'll do it. I've done that.
Loves to do that.
And that's this one.
Yeah.
Nice. That's pretty cool. That's a heck of a season. And you guys...
There's quite a bit of time between the first one and then even the second one.
Yeah.
were you still putting a lot of time in between? I know obviously you didn't have there wasn't snow.
I don't know what I was doing. But I wasn't
I know one of the things you're doing that time, you're running bears.
Yeah.
Running dogs for bears, for sure.
But yeah,
taking some walks in the woods.
Yeah. I've always had a hard time in October.
Me too.
But
yeah, it's tough.
Even last I haven't shot a deer in November in over 5 years.
Oh, really?
I mean, I've shot them like after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But I've nothing from November 1st.
It's funny you say that because I feel like I always consider after Thanksgiving like kind of part of December and late season. Yeah. It's like the cutoff for me. It's like November, the rut is like November 1st to me to Thanksgiving, and then after that it seems I just push that in the late season bucket. So I know what you mean by that. Sweet. So did you hunt PA too?
I hunted PA the last week of October into like the first couple days of November.
How was that?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love
See
it.
Good movement?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of really nice bucks.
Did you?
I actually, the last day I was there in the morning, I wounded one. I hit it in the shoulder.
Oh, damn.
It wasn't a giant by any means, but it was out past his ears. I think it was a 5 or 6 pointer.
Oh, shit.
I hesitated because they got to have 3 on one side.
Yeah.
And he just had these big forks, and then he turned and looked at me. It was out past his ears, and I'm like, what's going on right now?
Yeah, it was like.
And I'm like grabbing my binos, and I'm going back and forth with him, and I'm like, this thing got brow tines or what?
Yeah.
And then that was at like 30, and I had him dead to rights right there. And then he gets out to 40, and I stop him again and open it, and he looks at me, and I got my binos on him, and I see he's got brows. I'm like, oh no. So I drew back again, and I ended up hitting him in the shoulder.
Damn.
Yeah. I was like, buck I shot this year. I didn't have the antler restriction to worry about, but it was just this big, heavy 6. Just big forks and brow tines. And I first saw him come. He was moving through pretty good, and I'm like, what the hell is that?
That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Those deer are cool, though. The big 6s and forks, especially when they're heavy and old. So tell me about the bears and the dogs. We'll talk more about deer, but tell me about the bears and dogs. How did you get into that? Because I feel like that's obviously something that not everybody's into, and it's probably a pretty big. Well, I used to raise sled dogs, so I know what it's like to take care of a bunch of dogs. And like the thing that people don't think about is, you have bear season to run them, or like you have race season in the winter with sled dogs, and it's like that's great, and you're like into it, but then they're still there the other 11 months of the year, and you got to take care of them. So it's a pretty big commitment. So how did that start? How did you get into that?
Well, I started out with beagles hunting rabbits.
Okay.
And I had I think 3 or 4 of those, and for I don't know.
Is that something you started when you were like a kid with your?
Yeah, I was before I had my driver's license.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were they your dogs or family dogs?
They were mine.
Okay.
Yeah, I got them as puppies.
Okay.
And me and my cousin, he had a coon dog, and we used to go out running coons every night. That's when he was a year older, so I don't even think I had my driver's license, but I still go with him, and we go out, and that's back before we had GPS collars or anything.
That's been fun.
We had some long nights.
Yeah, I bet.
Especially, back then we didn't know any better, and they might get on a deer, and they'd be next town over. We'd be trying to beep them all night.
Yeah.
And, we got lost a few times, but it was always fun. So then I had the beagles, and we had the coon dog, and then there was a guy in town that had bear dogs. And eventually, I don't know, I went with him. I was probably 17, 18 maybe. And I went, and we ended up treeing a bear, and they killed it. And I was like, this is just a whole different deal right here. Rather than, beagle running circles in a piece of woods. I mean, now you're going up over mountains, down over the other side. And I was like, I want to do this. So the guy that was running dogs with that guy had 2 dogs, and he was trying to get out of bear hunting. So I ended up buying those 2 dogs off of him.
Okay.
And that's where it all started.
How old were you then?
Was it probably 17, 18.
Okay, so it was pretty quick.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
How many dogs do you have now?
I have 7 right now.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's a lot to take care of.
What are they?
Plot hounds.
Have you bred any?
Yeah.
You do? Okay. How many litters have you had? Do you know?
Probably 6. Maybe.
Okay. Where are your dogs out of, like lions? Do you know?
So the guy I I work for a guy up in Allagash.
Yep.
Great Northern Outfitters,
Yep.
Dan Wagner, and he breeds Plot hounds.
Okay.
So a lot of my dogs come from what he's bred over the years.
Okay.
And all of his stuff comes from Laurel Mountain and Bluff Creek.
Where are they?
Laurel Mountain's out of Tennessee.
Okay.
And the Bluff Creek is down southwest somewheres.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Gotcha.
I don't think he even has
Dogs anymore?
no, I don't think that wherever he is, I don't think you can even run bear.
Oh, okay.
So maybe like Oklahoma or something like that.
Gotcha. Do you usually have around 7 dogs? Or is it kind
I
of
had
vary?
12. I had 12 last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What does training look like? Is it just younger dogs running with more experienced dogs? Is
Yeah,
that pretty much what it
basically,
comes down to? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at what age are they like coming? Are they like prime, do you think? Like their best? Is it dependent on the dog?
Their best are probably 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember when we raced, like the prime years were like probably 3 through 5 or 6. Like it's probably a little different for you because for us it was like just mainly like focus because puppies can't focus all the time or they get distracted. But once they can focus, but then they had the speed, so it was like once they got a little older, they'd lose some speed, wouldn't bounce back as quick. But so right as they had that focus, but for like your situation, I feel like those dogs are more experienced. There's just more for them probably to learn and to understand.
They're always learning right up until they're like 7.
Yeah.
And then they learned it all, but now they're starting to decline on what they can physically do.
Yep. Yeah. See, our situation was different. There wasn't that much to learn. It's like run down the trail and there's like 5 or 6 commands. It's like pretty, obviously there's a little more to it than that, but I feel like in that situation there's a lot more experience in situations that they can, learn from and learn how to deal with, I guess. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just, how many clients did you take out last year?
I took out 5 or 6 in New Hampshire. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure Chris was probably happy to get a decent one.
Yeah.
Had some ground shrinkage last year or the year before.
Was that with, did he shoot? No, he didn't shoot one with, he went the year before with you, didn't he?
No, just last year.
Oh, just last year. He went a couple times though, right?
Yeah, we went twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he went the year before.
No, the year before.
Well, you're talking about his bow bait bear.
Yeah, the bait bear, yeah.
That was a funny story. He's like, did you hear about this?
No.
He put this new bait out, and he's, I'm gonna
cool,
throw him under the bus, but whatever.
It's a cool spot where he.
Did you film that?
I did.
Okay. He said
we're fucking like 12 feet off the ground, 7 yards, or it was like 14 yards from the bait. We're just like sitting right on top of the thing.
He's sending me these. So nothing hit it. It was a new bait. So nothing hit it for like, I don't know, a while. It was like towards the end of the season, I think, that something actually hit it. And he's sending me pictures. He's like, dude, a big bear hit my bait. And I'm like looking at the picture. I'm like, Chris, that's like a 100-pound bear. So I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't know about a big bear. It's a bear. He's like, no, dude, that thing's like 300 pounds. I'm like, Chris, no, it's not. That's like maybe a 100-pound bear. He's like, no, man, like that's a big bear. I'm like, all right, whatever. And then he's like, I'm going to go hunt. I'm like, okay, cool. And so anyway, was that the one he shot? Might have been.
I don't know. We went in. We had a bear came in.
The sow. He had a sow, right, in there?
Yeah.
But that's not the bear. Yeah, it's not the bear he was sending me. And she was probably bigger than the bear he shot, I assume.
Yeah, we had hunted there like the weekend before that, I think. We had a bear come up, carried up the road. Like he could have shot it, but I didn't have camera light because I had that other camera.
Yeah.
That didn't do so hot.
Yep.
At that time, and we went back the week later, and I don't even know. We saw like 10 bears.
Oh, did you?
In one set, yeah. Well, it was like we had one.
Wasn't a lot of the sow and cubs, though?
We had a sow come with 3 cubs.
Yeah.
That was cool. Then there was a smaller bear that came in, super spooky. The wind was doing weird stuff. It was kind of like drifting around and then looping back. I think that one came in and spooked off, ran down to the cut before he had a chance to kill it. And then very killed was like right at last light. And then we had like 2 or 3 adult bears came down off the mountain right after dark, but we're like shining lights at the things trying to get them off the bait, and they just like look up at us in the tree, don't care, go right back to eating. But that was 2 dudes who don't know bears in a tree. We're like, is it a good bear? I'm like, I don't know. Chris is, he's like, yeah, it's like a decent
It
bear,
was,
right? I'm like, I don't know, dude.
It was a
I
small
think so.
bear, dude. It was a real small bear. I don't think it was even 100 pounds. But it was so funny because
It
he
was
was
not 100
adamant.
pounds.
It's just a 3. I'm like, okay, whatever, man. Like, fine. Just go. Who cares? Shoot it, I guess. I don't care. And it was
It was still
pretty funny.
super cool. I hadn't been, like, we were very close to the bait, so.
That's pretty neat.
Because, like, when I got with you, kind of up and set back a little bit, so.
You know, it'd be
it wasn't
cool
quite the
if
same.
I've just thought of this just now. It's a shoot with like a longbow or recurve on a bait. That'd be kind of cool, like real close.
I've been trying to kill one
Have you?
on the ground with the dogs.
With a recurve?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
Or a
neat.
longbow.
You're going to do the Tim
That'd
Wells
be
with,
cool.
like, a spear or something?
I just haven't.
Can you do that? Is that legal in New Hampshire?
No.
No. Okay.
What?
My
Spear.
my
Oh.
buddy Lance killed one with me 3-4 years ago that dressed 356. Shot it with his recurve.
Did he?
Yeah.
That's pretty
That's
neat.
awesome.
I should do that. That'd be.
Do a handgun.
I feel
Pretty
like
close.
for me, like I don't mind hunting on a bait, but I shot one 2 years ago with a rifle on a bait, and I don't know. I just didn't. It's kind of like if I'm gonna do on a bait, I want to be with a bow. Like it's like I feel like close and like it actually I get fired up. Oh, you were with me. You filmed that one, the gun one. I was excited, but like it was just like I don't know. I feel like bait and a gun. It's kind of like eh. But I do enjoy the bow thing, so I think that would be the next step. I could have a recurve right there, somewhere right there. I don't know, is it there? It's all in pieces. But anyway, I haven't even shot it yet, so I'll have to. That's gonna take some time for me to get that going. So, have you had clients kill them other than Lance with a bow?
No.
How do you think that'd work on a treed bear?
It depends.
Okay.
It depends.
Depends, yeah.
It's all situation.
Could be terrible, like zero shot. No,
I mean, if
just
he's up
leave
in a,
him.
He's
if
away
he's
that
up in a
often.
friggin' big hemlock
Yeah.
full,
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, you're not gonna get one in there.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you can kind of back stuff off and hope he comes down a little bit and gives you an opportunity.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I
I
usually
mean, it's all. Or you could have him perched right
big
up in a
oak
big
and you're
big
set.
oak right in the crotch
right,
of it. You know.
Right. Out of the bears your dogs take, do they have any idea the size of the? Do they have any way of like? Are any of your dogs better at like trying to find a bigger bear, or they just if it's a bear they're chasing?
Yeah, it's if they just smell bear.
They smell bear and they
Yeah.
go. They're not like. There's no way that they can discern between what's what. Because I'm just thinking if I know that obviously like it's probably how long usually it could be probably any time, but it usually takes an investment of time if they get on a bear to tree it and go to the bear and the whole thing. No.
It depends on how far ahead the bear was when they hit the track. If they hit the track and the track's
Sure.
10 hours old,
Yeah.
it's going to take them a couple hours.
Yeah.
Or it
Yeah.
could,
Yeah.
because that bear could be, 2 or 3 miles
Yeah.
from there,
Yeah.
or they could go 300 yards and jump out of its bed,
Right.
and
Then they
Tree
tree
it
it fast.
instantly.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of like tracking, right? Just trying to relate it, and it's like we have the ability to pick the track we want. It's the
Right.
animal, you don't really have that, so it's like you could, if there's a bunch of small bears around, you could waste
So that-
days
what-
and days like trying to.
when we
yeah.
hunt in Maine, you can
Yep.
run dogs off of bait up there.
Okay.
So we're only running baits that we have camera pictures of giant bears on.
Okay.
Which,
That's a way to. Okay.
which we
So you're
can't.
probably
we
more
can't-
efficient
Yeah,
about-
we can, that's how we can target
Yep.
mature bears up there. But
Yep.
you can't do that in New Hampshire. It's really you're just shooting your shot in the dark.
Why can't you do that?
I don't know.
It doesn't really make sense to me because the baiting season, the dog season, do they overlap anywhere?
They overlap by a week.
Seems like they should just cut it in half and say, you can keep running your bait. Now you can run dogs off it. And that's the time of year when you get the biggest bears on your baits too, I think. So that'd be cool. They should make that change. State of New Hampshire. That'd be cool.
That's not gonna happen.
No, you don't think so? Do you know if there's a reason for that?
I don't know.
Um,
Probably because they don't. The bait hunters are always complaining, and like that week overlap.
Yeah.
It's mayhem because, say I'm driving down the road, my dogs strike a bear.
Yeah.
I let them go, and they go 600 yards, and they go right through somebody's bait site.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't know that the bait site was there.
No,
I just know that the bear crossed the road, and then
Yeah.
I didn't know the bear was going to a bait site.
Of course.
So it didn't even used to overlap, but now since they're trying to give everybody more opportunity because they're trying to get the population down, so now there is a little overlap. But even with that overlap, it's still causes some troubles.
Do you see them expanding the two bear area from outside just the White Mountains, or?
I don't know. That's a
based on
whole
what you're
other
seeing.
thing that's just weird because in the state of New Hampshire, guides are only allowed to take 6 bear hunters a year,
Okay.
which doesn't even
But
make
it
sense.
seems like if they want to knock the numbers down, it'd be a more efficient way to do it, right?
You think if they want to get the numbers down, they'd let
Yeah.
guides take more
I
than
don't
6 clients.
understand why. I mean, I guess the conflict with dogs and baits makes sense. But I don't know. Expand. I mean, they did expand it. I'll give them that. They did expand it. Like they expanded what?
And it's
the bait season
and
more.
It's going all the way, most of the way through rifle season now for the
right.
bear
That's
season.
true.
So.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess they're doing something. I can't complain. What about the? Well, I guess that doesn't really affect you much. But it's interesting that you can't pre-bait.
Right. That
Like,
would help.
That
a
would
lot.
help kill way
Yeah.
more bears.
Oh, yeah.
Maine can do it like super
A
early.
month.
It's like
Yeah.
crazy. Which I don't want to do it that early. That's expensive. To feed freaking bears for 2
Yes.
months. It
Like,
gets like it's super crazy.
Not this past year. The season before that, Champa killed a bear. I was filming him.
Oh, the Maine bear there. Yeah.
Yeah, that was that whole. I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast or not, but he had baited from the beginning. He was going up
Yeah.
like every Saturday
Yeah.
baiting it. Spent quite a bit of money and time and gas and all that doing it. And then we finally went up there. He had a big, I think he said it was like 250, 300-pound boar that had one eye that was consistently coming to the bait. And then we get in there to hunt, and there's a dude's truck there. And he was coming out at like 2 o'clock when we were going in, and he had just shot a bear. It was a weird interaction. He wasn't happy that we were there. He unofficially fucked with Steve's barrel and had like ripped it off and thrown it in the woods. But
Yeah. Well,
But-
Maine seems like a lot more lax on all their bear baiting laws and probably their dog stuff too. Is there what other differences is there between the two seasons in Maine and New Hampshire?
Well, New Hampshire or Maine, their season starts earlier, so it's like the last week of August.
Dog season
Their
or bear?
their
Okay.
baiting season.
Yep.
mm,
Right.
Their general season.
Yep.
And that goes for 2 weeks, and then the dog season usually starts around the end of the first week of September.
Oh,
So
okay.
usually somewhere between like.
Do you go up and run dogs then?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
it's like around somewhere between like the 9th and 13th is when the dog
Gotcha.
season usually opens.
And then how long does that dog season go there?
It goes right through October.
Oh, wow. So it's
Yeah.
way longer. And then no restrictions on how many clients you can take.
Nope.
Is there an overlap with bait season?
Well, you can bait
so-
that whole time.
Okay, so you can hunt over bait and you can run dogs off bait.
Right, but you can
Yeah.
only you can only hunt off bait for like 5 or 6 weeks.
Okay, gotcha.
But you can still run the dogs off the bait after
Yeah.
that.
One thing I always think about, and I know that it seems like in close to where we're at right now, a lot of the bigger bears, and correct me if I'm wrong, they're relying on mast and crops from the bottom. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that somewhat accurate? Yeah. In this where we're sitting today, but you guys are killing really big bears in northern or in Maine. I think there's no crops and not much mass up there, right? So what are they eating? Just browse? Are they getting big on browse, or is there something else that?
Well, think about this. They're eating bait from August,
Okay.
the 1st of August, right? All
Yeah.
the way through October.
Yeah. Okay.
So you have 3 months eating
Super
30,
high
40,000 calories a day.
Right. How much weight do you think they're putting on in that time
So
frame?
Dan used to trap bears for the state,
Yep.
right? They caught a bear in the spring, whenever that was, April or May or June or whatever it was, right? It was like 360 something.
In the spring?
Live
Wow.
weight.
Live weight. Okay. So what's that? Okay. Sidebar. What do you think a 360 live weight bear dress is at?
He's probably 300 to 310.
Okay.
Somewhere in
Similar to a deer ratio.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
That same bear got killed during dog season, which was probably middle to end of September.
Yeah.
That bear weighed 570 something.
Oh my God.
So it put on
really?
put on over 200 pounds.
holy shit.
Wow. So
When they're
let's
at
think
their,
about that.
when they're
That's
at their
crazy.
peak, they're putting on like 5 to 7 pounds a day. When they're really
my
packing on
God.
for winter.
5 to 7.
That's
So
crazy.
if that bear, so he could put on in a month, oh my God. Well, 5 would be 150 pounds. 7 would, I don't know, maybe they're not gaining at that rate the whole time.
That's towards the end.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Because obviously they're not doing that in the summertime.
Jeez,
that's just
crazy.
when they're on
right.
Because they're gaining all that weight because they're literally eating 20, 30,
Straight
40,000
sugar
calories.
and carbohydrates.
Oil, fry oil.
Like
and
the highest calorie that they can really build fat with.
Nuts,
Yeah.
So
that's insane. So you think that's that's a big reason why a lot of those bears are heavy up there?
And I think it's because they're more north, so they're
just bigger in general.
They're
Skeletal, you think they're bigger?
Bigger
skulls
and
stuff?
Yeah, they definitely have bigger skulls.
Okay,
bigger frame.
interesting. Yep. Yeah. No shit. I wonder what the weights would be if there was no baiting up there. I wonder what.
They're still going to be big.
Bigger.
They're still going to be big, but
so?
I don't think they'd be that big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how long baiting has been a thing there. Forever, probably.
Since the 80s, at least.
80s, yeah.
Yeah.
That probably. Well, if you think about that, the ones that don't get killed, they gain. I mean, you think eating bait, they may gain double what they'd gain in that period if they're eating just browse. Like, think about how much more volume they have to eat to get the same calories.
They're either eating beech nuts or mountain ash berries in the fall up there, and that's really it.
Yeah.
Besides, grass and stuff like that.
So they're going in potentially 100 pounds more because of bait than they maybe would be into the winter, and then so they're already coming out in the spring probably in better shape, and they're just able to, you know what I mean? Like, I bet an older bear is probably,
which I'm sure has an effect on how many they're having.
I mean, they're seeing yearling, cub bears going into den at 100 pounds.
Really?
Yeah, I mean they're huge. They're just big butterballs.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And so I think you told me, which was interesting to me, is that there's not a whole lot difference between we'll say like a 5-year-old boar, skeletally in a 5-year-old, say 250 pound boar, and like a 500 pound boar. You said it's just like they just fill out.
It's just
that's
way
all it
more
is.
fat,
it's like fat. Yeah. That's all. That was interesting to me. I mean, it makes sense, but it's crazy how it's just like insane how much weight they can gain. And like the thing to me is like when I look at like a 200 to 300 pound boar, like a mature boar, it looks like a big animal to me, like an impressive animal.
Right.
And then I think about, there's some that are twice that size. It's like, what the? It's just like weird. I mean, it's like people, I'm sure, but it's just crazy that they can literally gain that much weight, the same frame but double the weight. It's like
I've seen them where you skin them and you cut on the rump, because that's where you see, if you look at a bear broadside, one of those big ones that has that big fat hump on their back.
Yeah.
I've seen that as thick as 12 inches. You can go 12 before you even see meat.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, they definitely have a lot of fat on them.
Like some of those Jersey bears that were down there when that Jeremy was getting pictures of when we had gone down there a couple of years ago. There's like big slobs, like obese people walking around.
Well, I think that's what those heavy bears basically are. They're just like giant fat people.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like just.
Well, dude, they're like dragging on the ground, literally, when they get that big.
And then, have you been? What states can you run bears in with dogs? Is there a bunch of them, or is it pretty limited? So,
Maine, New Hampshire,
Vermont. Yep.
And then New York, you can train, but you can't kill, which doesn't make any sense to me.
That's strange.
You can run dogs off of bait in New York.
You can't even bait in New York, but you can bait.
You can train dogs off of bait in New York, but you can't kill them.
You can't kill them with the dogs, and you can't kill them over bait. Okay, that's weird, but okay.
But you can train dogs.
Strange.
So then you go down to North Carolina, Tennessee,
the
whole Appalachian. You can run bears down there.
Okay.
And then basically it's just out west.
Okay.
In New Mexico.
Yep.
Arizona.
Okay. Where is that area? Is it in South Carolina have those giant 800-pound?
North Carolina.
So can you run those bears with dogs?
Yeah.
In that area? Oh, that's pretty. Have you ever been down there to do that?
No.
That'd be interesting. I actually did a little bit of reading about that area once, and it was like, I think it's like the highest density of black bears in the world. It's like weird because it's not what you would
They have
It's like a flat,
it's all
like
peanuts,
peninsula.
though.
Yeah, it's all like crops and just like, I don't know, makes sense, I guess. But
They'll have
super
these
interesting.
big giant peanut fields, and there'll just be a dozen 400 or 500 pound bears out there eating like
It's
chickens.
nuts.
Look like cows out
They
there.
look
in the pasture.
ridiculous, and they look so like you're talking about like the It's like those bears look ridiculous to me. Like, oh my god, what even is that thing? Like, I don't even know if they can run. I'm sure they can, but like
The big ones
just
can't run.
They literally can't.
No.
It's so
they
crazy.
physically can't run.
Those
That's
bears probably
crazy.
taste good though. If they're just eating.
Peanut bears? I bet their
Maybe.
fat's like peanut oil when you render
probably
it down. That's crazy. Yeah, that's interesting. The bear thing is like, because I've always been around them, but like I just never paid much attention to them, to be honestly, until recently. And then I shot a few of them, and I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. And then I ate them, and I like them. And then we render bear grease and use it a lot. So I was like, oh, these are pretty cool animals. And so I've been kind of just more interested than I have been in learning about them.
How quick did you guys run out of meat on your last bear?
We still have some.
Do you?
So,
So
I guess last year, 2 years ago, that's just that bear right there. I shot him, and he was pretty big, so he lasted into, with the deer and everything else, lasted into like last year. And then the bear I shot last year was like 180 pound. I don't know. Do you remember?
Something like that.
180 pound sow, whatever. And so that was like a decent amount. And so we went into this year with some left, and then the one I shot this year was my biggest. So yeah, we're still in decent shape with everything. But do you eat a lot of it?
I don't know. I don't even hardly kill them. I think I've only killed 5 or 6 bears.
Gotcha. You just like to run them.
And the ones I did shoot were because the person I had with me wasn't capable of shooting it, so I ended up having to shoot them. I mean, they were giant bears, and ones you search your whole life for.
Mm-hmm.
So once you finally get them
Yeah.
there, it's like
Yeah, they're not going. They're not leaving.
They're not gonna leave.
Is that one you shot over the shoulder footage? Is that the biggest one you shot?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
intense.
He probably was out back here at one point in his life. I mean,
Yeah.
he wasn't very far from here.
Yeah.
That bear was 22 and a half years old.
Oh my God.
I was wondering that.
22?
Yeah.
Is that the oldest one you've heard of?
No.
What's the oldest one you heard of?
They killed one up in Maine that was 32, I believe. Boar.
Holy shit. That's a
Yeah.
huge age range.
We killed a 25-year-old sow up there.
Did you?
Yeah. I killed another one over not far from where I killed the big one. That was 17 and a half boar.
Wow. That's crazy.
The only way that those bears get to be that old is luck.
You think so?
Oh yeah, just like the only reason a deer gets to be 10 years old is luck. They've
but
been
not
shot
many
at and
deer.
missed, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, but you sounds like you know of more. Well, I guess.
Well,
No,
like
I
that
wouldn't say
17 and a half year old bear, he had broadhead in him. He had
Oh, did he?
multiple slugs in him. He had birdshot in him. He had other bullet fragments in him.
Why do they all have freaking birdshot in them, dude?
Bird feeders.
Yeah. Is it people
But like, why?
or trash cans
Dude,
or dumpsters?
my wife should be like, I just freaking bit into another pellet. It's like 3 of like between Ross and I, like 4 of the last like 6 bears we've killed have had just shot in them. It irritates me.
That's what I'm saying. The only reason they get to be that old is shit luck.
I'm just like, who is shooting these things?
Those are the ones that have been close enough to people that
and it's
they
weird
stay alive.
like I'm sure any bear they can travel and get into places, but like a lot of places we're hunting, like there's no.
I mean,
there's no bird feeder for like miles. It's like
we
what are they?
We can get
doing?
into the travel aspect too.
Well, let's talk about. I'm interested in that too. Do you think they're going super far?
How far would you think?
Oh God, let me think. So
that big
How
one
far
that big one I killed
Yeah.
in the corn.
yeah,
I treed that bear in 5 different towns.
the same. How you sure it was the same one?
Oh yeah, very
Really?
distinguished. Yeah,
Okay.
100% know it was the same bear, but it was always during the training season. I could never find them during the actual hunting
5
season.
different towns, like all next to each other.
No,
Or no.
No.
Like, okay, how far from furthest tree to furthest tree?
I don't know.
Would you say, like
20 miles?
really?
Yeah.
In one fall?
No. This is over like 5 to 7 years.
Okay, gotcha.
But still, and I know people have trail cameras of them like way. You can't
Okay.
mistake this bear. I mean, this is face.
So do you think there's not many really big bears out there? It's just because okay,
No, there isn't.
there isn't. Okay, because it seems like everybody gets a picture has seen a big bear. And
When I'm saying
to
big
me,
bears,
it's like
I'm talking 400
okay,
plus.
all
Like
right.
giant bears. But
Would you-
that's the
Yeah,
thing.
okay.
Like so, like I've killed off the dogs 4 bears now out of the same piece of woods that were well over 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And old bears. And obviously they were not there at the same time. This is like an area that has, it's just a perfect area.
Yeah.
It has everything that they would ever need to grow big and old. And you kill the big old bear out of there, and another one could come from,
Okay, that's
in the springtime, they're on a 50, 60-mile walkabout, and they come into this area, and they find some sows there. And next thing you know, it's summer, and it's like, oh, look at all this stuff here. And now it's fall. Like, oh, well, I don't have to leave. Like, still have all this stuff, and they stay there.
That's interesting because I killed that bear was the biggest bear we had that year that I killed him, and I shot him, and he was the biggest bear that we'd had in a bit that we could tell. And I'm not very good at looking at bears. Like, and honestly, anything like 250 plus, I'm like, oh, it looks like a big bear to me. So I'm not. I mean, maybe I can tell there's between a 250 and a 500, but I don't know that I've ever seen a 500 or got pictures of one. But like everything in that 250 to 3 something or 4, I don't know. I can't tell. But anyway, so we killed him, and then the next year there was a big bear that moved in, and I think it's the one I killed this past year. I don't know. It's tough to say, but I always think about that. And like I killed that bear, I think the last day of the bait season this year. And then I'm like, is there going to be a big bear there again next year? I'm like, I don't know. Like, but it sounds like there very well could be another one move in pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, we killed one in Maine that was 602 pounds live weight. That bear was 21 and a half years old.
Oh my God.
And it was tattooed up underneath its lip.
Yeah.
And they had actually caught that bear like 18, 19 years before that in 2001 as a yearling.
That's insane.
And it was 60 miles away where they had tagged
60 miles.
it. Yeah.
Wow.
So those things just go there.
I had no idea how nomadic they
So
are.
did they?
Well, 60 miles doesn't seem like a big deal if you think about it there, because it's just solid woods. It's not like they're going through towns and cities and stuff like that,
It's still
right?
a long ways though.
But then, a buddy of mine killed one about 10 miles north of here,
Yeah.
right? Off of dogs in September
Yeah.
with blue ear tags in it, which are from Massachusetts.
Oh no shit.
So they called down to Massachusetts with the tags, right? And it was tagged that spring, that
Yep.
same spring in Shirley, Massachusetts.
That's that thing.
So it went from there to there
That's a haul.
in like 4 or 5 months, when that's over 60 miles. And that's going through some serious
Oh, yeah.
civilization and
Yeah, for
highways.
sure.
And
Wow. I didn't know that was.
That
so
makes a
why
lot more
are they?
sense why you get like just random bears.
Well, that makes me
one
feel
time
better
and
about-
see 'em
especially
again.
in the and especially in June when they're breeding.
Yeah.
I don't know if
They'll
you ever had any like absolute giant bears on a trail camera, if you even have cameras in the woods at that
I
time.
don't
But
have a ton, but yeah.
I mean, I had turkey season a few years ago. I had shot a bunch of turkeys between New Hampshire and Vermont and Maine and Mass, and I was just throwing the carcasses over the stone wall out behind my field. And every time it'd be like 2 or 3 days, and I'd shoot a turkey, and I'd go toss it over the bank, and it'd be gone. So I'd put a camera on it.
Yeah.
And a couple days goes by, and I go out there, and I pull the camera, and there's like this 450-pound bear eating my turkey carcasses right in the back of my house. I'm like,
Shit.
where the hell did this thing come from? And I never saw him again after that. But he was just getting ready to breed, and they'll cover so many miles just looking for sows.
This is super interesting because I've always wondered. So I had a bear. I don't know if I told you about this or you heard about it, but I had a bear right here that was eating my livestock, legitimately, like chickens and turkeys. And I shot it. I I'm pretty sure it died, but it was at night. It was raining, and I shot at it, and like I'd hit it, but like come to find out, my gun was hitting like 6 inches high. So I hit it high. It dropped. Was like dragging. It was kind of shitty. I wish I just would have killed it. But anyway, it got away. I didn't find it dead, but I'm pretty sure it died based on what I saw. It was a pretty big bear. It wasn't huge. Maybe 200s is my guess. Super like you said, like he would come out and like come right at dark up to the chickens, and we like scared him off, and he came back like an hour later. And I was like, all right, fuck this. Screw this thing. Like, he killed like 50 chickens, like meat chickens. Like all my, I was like, and he came back like, I think he came, so he the first time it happened, he killed a handful, ripped the coop apart. And I was like, I mean, I'm obviously pretty sure it was a bear, but I was like, shit, I don't like, whatever. Then he came back and he killed a pile of them, like a lot of them. My kids I was pissed because I have money invested in them. That's like part of what we eat. And the kids were like, it was a murder scene out there, dude. It was like feathers and dead carcasses like all over the field. It was like, oh, the coop was in pieces. Looked like a bomb went off. The kids found it too, so they like freaked out. They're all like crying. And I'm like, oh my God, this thing. So I'm like irritated. And so we put it back together. We had a few left, a few chickens left. And it was like a couple days later, he came back again. And literally like we chased him off. Yelled at him, like ran out. It was right at dusk, and he like just looked at us and like slowly walked off. And I was like, oh, this thing's a problem. And so I shot him. Like, I don't know, he came back, and I was like, all right. So I shot him. Fishing game came, whatever, checked it out, and like it was a good shoot, we'll say. It was legit. It's not like this has been vetted. I'm not just like going rogue shooting bears at my house. So, and I'm wondering, and then really there was no bear. We haven't had a problem. We didn't have a problem last summer. This was, I think, 2 summers ago. Shit, yeah. I don't remember. Yeah, it was. It was 2 summers ago. So we didn't have any problems with chickens this year and bears. We also put a fence up, electric fence, to try to deter them. I don't know if it works, but and I think if there's a bear that wants to get in there bad enough, he's probably going to go through it. But do you think that these bears have like that bear? So I'll also give a little more context. There had been like on the town pages on social media, like people saying that, hey, a bear raided my chicken coop, like in this part of town. And then when I shot that bear, it was like that all went quiet.
Oh yeah.
You think it was the same bear, just like traveling, like they're
for sure.
Yeah, they get, I don't know, like accustomed to it and realize that's a food source, and now that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I see it on all kinds of different town pages.
Do you?
Same thing. It's like, oh, the bear was at my house. The bear was at my house, and then.
Yeah.
Eventually, some type of mass is going to come on, and you're never going to hear of it again. But
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I always wonder, and so I was thinking to myself, like, because of my limited understanding of their range and their behavior, like, oh, since I killed that bear, is there's not going to be a bear here for like another several years, or like, but sounds like this spring there could be another giant big boar here that's doing the same shit. Yeah. It's interesting.
There seems like such a wide range in my limited experience of how tolerable some of them are. Some are super skittish and don't want anything to do with people, and other ones.
I mean, once they have no fear of humans, it's just they're just gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
Is that like a boar versus sow thing, or is it just the personality of the bear?
Yeah, it's just kind personality.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of sows that are. I know of multiple sows with cubs that are just raiding dumpsters.
Really?
Like daily. And then, I mean, they've been doing it for years and years and years, and they keep bringing different litters of cubs to the dumpsters. I mean, that doesn't help anything either.
No.
I mean, they're raising those cubs on those dumpsters, and those cubs are gonna do that when they grow up.
Probably the same things with corn in the bottoms. I would have to imagine.
Oh yeah.
Probably some old sows that just they're in there every summer and fall, just like.
That's the thing with bears, though, is I mean they have such a large home range, and they don't ever forget where they found a calorie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're always moving and always searching for food sources, and once they find one, they're gonna be like, oh, I remember at one time I was up on this hill and there was beech nuts or there was white oaks there, or there was corn down in this field one time. Or there's an
Gotcha.
apple tree over here that had
Yep.
apples on it. They never forget.
Giant nomadic calorie vacuums. That's so crazy. They're so. What do you think the average age of a bear killed is in the state?
I don't know. It's hard to say because there's some of these sows are like 100 to 140 pounds, and those things
But they're not young.
But they're 8-10 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
But I think the average bear is like a year and a half old, probably.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I think they're pretty young.
It's crazy. There's such a discrepancy in age. Oh shit! I gotta get a tooth off that bear that I didn't think about that. I'm interested. I know that bear was.
Well, the state probably
6.
sent it out.
Did they?
Yeah.
Maybe I should check. Cause I don't even know what that one.
They won't have it until.
Well, what about when last year? I should
they'll
check
have
on
if
that
you
one.
call if you call down to Concord, they have the list right there.
Do they have a database online?
No, you gotta call them.
Oh, you do. I should call then, because I don't. Because that's how I shot last year. I don't think.
You
I
won't
sent a
know.
tooth in.
No, they did.
2 years ago. Sorry, 2 years
They
ago.
take a tooth off everyone.
Okay. So they age every bear shot?
Yeah.
Oh, so you could actually go and they should publish that.
They
Maybe probably ask for it or something.
Maine, you can go right on their website and type in your last
Really?
name, and it'll pop up that. But New
Okay.
Hampshire doesn't do that. They actually have a printed list. So if you if you have a warden that you're close with, you can get a hold of them, and they actually usually have it printed out in their truck.
That's cool. We should, for this podcast, get that list and just insert here maybe the average age of a bear killed in New Hampshire. Because I think it's super interesting. Like, I'm so focused on deer that, like, it's like you have a good feeling of, like, the deer's age and range and their behavior. I don't have that with bears. You obviously do, which is really cool and why I'm enjoying having this conversation. But it's just so crazy that you can have an animal that does get hunted and, like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's more bear hunters than I thought. People hunting, running dogs,
There's
running
not that
baits.
many people running dogs.
No, okay.
I think that maybe at the most there's 10 people in the state.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you get around a pretty big area, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I feel like there's more baits than I thought, too.
There's bait. I don't know. I mean, around here, I think there's baits in every piece of woods.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how many baits do you come across?
I mean, on these bigger mountains here, there's a dozen baits.
Yeah.
I mean, do they bait up where you deer hunt?
Yeah, we do.
Oh,
Yeah.
you do too? Yeah. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Every mountain's got a dozen baits on it, and every block of woods that's over 100 acres has a bait in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, was it your bear or Ross's bear that had corn in it?
Oh, did one?
Yeah. I think it was Ross's
Must have
bear.
been Ross, because I don't remember that. He had corn? I'm like trying to think where he would have eaten corn. I have no idea. Like I mean miles and miles, like literally, like unless that's so interesting.
No, you know what it was? It wasn't a bear that he shot. It was bear shit that was up on the mountain.
That had corn in it?
It was in the cut. It was in the big cut that Ross and I hunted during the rut 2 years ago.
Oh, that's got to be someone baiting deer then.
Yeah.
Where they're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Well, no, I guess they technically could bait deer then. I guess they could if it was there in the rut.
I don't know. Like up our way, I don't think a lot of people do bait deer though, legally.
No, I don't.
Down southern, they do a lot, but I don't know.
I don't know. I don't. That's a good point. I don't even really know anybody that baits deer in New Hampshire. Well, maybe I do. I don't know. Maybe I know them, but I don't know they bait deer. I'll put it that way. I'm not aware of anybody that baits deer that at least talks about it. It's weird. I think so. I'll say this. I think that the deer baiting season is at the worst possible time in the deer season for it to be effective. Outside of like those other
if it was in
dates.
like if you could bait deer like starting like October 1st, I think that would be really good.
Or even September 15th, or if you could bait them in December, like late.
I think
bow.
December would be almost too good.
It'd be
pretty good. It'd be too good.
So I think maybe that's why not a lot of guys do it. Well, maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe I'm naive, and maybe a lot of
I don't find deer baits.
I don't either.
No.
I
But the couple times I've hunted him, I found deer baits,
and it's legal there the whole season,
right.
So that's understandable. But I'm saying like maybe. Well, I can tell you that when I owned property, before in New Hampshire, I would feed them when I could, and not even to hunt over. I just had like a lot of neighbors that were like, let me think about. I'm gonna be transparent. I'm gonna think if I actually hunted over it ever. I don't know that I did, honestly. And I'll tell you why, because during November I was elsewhere, not hunting property. In October when it was legal, which is like mid-October, I mean, they like have so much food, like acorns and everything else. So like they would hit it, but like it was like once a week at night, and I'm like, it was like useless to hunt over. So I never really did. And so that's my point is it's like I think maybe if it was early and late, then more people would probably do it. But I think the part of the state we're in, other than, what is it, M? Is it L too you can do it, or is it just M?
I'm not
sure either, but maybe more people do it there. Also, it's smaller woodlots. It's tougher to access. It's more like the suburban game, so that probably works a little better.
I think that there are actually more people baiting than you think, because
really,
if you go into Tractor Supply or something like that, and they got that big bin full of trophy rocks,
yeah,
and then mysteriously they're all gone, and or you go into Walmart and there's a whole pallet of deer corn, and mysteriously the whole thing, like it's going somewhere. I mean,
I don't know. I don't find many. I don't even know. I had one guy that I know of, and it was near that property I had, that was baiting, and it was not legal. But really, other than that, I don't know that I find many. I don't know.
I have seen a couple like tripod feeders. There was actually a funny story. It was not this past season, the season before that. It was I think it was like the day or two before Thanksgiving. It was raining that day, and I was still hunting up this piece I'd never even been before. And I got up onto this top, and there was like some logging roads, and it was all like fir, hemlocky stuff. And I was sneaking on this logging road. It was raining, and I grabbed my gun like this, and I'm like, this is it, right? Like, if there's a deer, and if there's a buck in here, he's right here. Yeah. And I go like 15 yards, and all of a sudden I like come up over this top, and I'm looking like 30, 40 yards in front of me. There's this green barrel sitting there, and I was like a trance I was in, and it broke it. I'm like, the hell somebody got a bait up here for? And I take like 2 or 3 steps, like staring at the barrel fast, and all of a sudden I catch this flicker, and I look, and there's like this little tiny blowdown. There's this rack and face right in it.
Oh no! Really?
He jumped up, and we locked eyes, and he was only like 20 yards, and the time it took me to shoulder my gun, he had already jumped up, turned, and his front feet were hitting the ground. He was right on the cusp of the edge of the hill, and I just shot like I was either going to shoot right underneath his ass up into his stomach as he was going away, but he was just fast enough. I shot right over the top of him, and he was gone. And I'm like, no. And there was a barrel, and it was some kind of deer pipe feeder there.
Oh, really?
But there was no bait there. But that deer was bedded like 10 yards from that barrel.
He was waiting for his next meal.
But it caught me off guard because I'm way up on top of this hill. Like, there was no roads up into there. I'm like,
so someone really had. That's interesting.
I don't know if it had to have been a bear bait, but I feel like I remember there being something there that made me think that it was a deer bait at one point.
Yeah, that's weird.
But I was so mad. I'm like, I knew that buck was right there.
The barrel screwed you or whatever you
said. I probably would have had that one.
That's funny. Yeah, I wonder why. I think that's why there's not as much. This is a bad time of the season. And you got to go through hoop. Like, a lot of places, you can just dump it. Like, you don't have to get any sort of anything, right?
I lived here for like 2 years before I even realized you could bait. Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's so interesting that, like...
I had somebody arguing with me last year that I was telling me that it was illegal to bait in New Hampshire. I'm like, no, it's 100% legal. Like, you can bait from here to here.
I think they're
like, no.
Yeah, I was having the same conversation with Ross, and I thought he was fucking with me because it was Ross. So I'm like, he's like, you're gonna throw out he was talking about throwing a bag of corn behind my house. I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. I'm not doing that. He's like, no, like you should. Like, okay.
Yeah, see what's out there.
Then I looked it up.
That's
like,
hilarious.
Oh, okay, he's actually.
I just don't think it's so weird because states that like you can bait the whole season, like I feel like it's like, especially. I mean, we always go back to Ohio. It's one that I think that's kind of out of control. I'm guilty of it there too, but I would be happy if they just made it illegal. But I mean, it's so out of control in the states that like you can do it, and it's like not no one, but I think like a small percentage of people do it here, and I think it's just because of the timing. But maybe not. I mean, where else can you bait in the Northeast? Jersey for deer? Is that it? I can't think of any other states.
I don't know.
I don't think you can. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think there's many states. I think it's just probably culturally it's not like a thing here.
Yeah. Talking about Ohio, you drive through some of those like rough areas in hill country where there's like trailers and stuff all over the place.
Yeah.
People have a feeder like 20 yards from their window,
Oh, yeah.
and there's just
I remember
just
back
a trail
like
to it.
when I was a kid, and we'd go up north, and there'd be at the stores there'd be giant bins at bags of apples that you could buy in
In New
Yeah.
Hampshire?
Yeah, I think it used to be like
Maybe more. People. I just don't think it's. There's a lot
Over-
of people doing it, which is interesting. I
Yeah.
think it's probably good. Like I think.
yeah. Over in New York, you can't bait.
I
but
bet
there-
you.
but there's
I
still
bet you
bags of
there's more
apples and-
people baiting in New York illegally than in New Hampshire legally. Well, it's a bigger state, but
right.
but you know what I mean. Like I feel like that's
Every
and
every
yeah.
farm store I drive by when we go over to our place, there's giant bags of carrots and apples everywhere.
it's so crazy. It's like, jeez, guys, come on.
Pallets of them.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some of that going on. So were they gonna potentially make baiting for bears illegal in Vermont? Did I hear that?
well, I
Or
think
is
that
it-
they're trying to get the population down, just like everywhere
Yeah.
is, and
Yeah.
I think that there's a decent push to
Is there? Yeah.
because that's a very effective method to
Yeah.
to
Yeah. It's
kill bears. So
yeah.
because right now, I mean, you can hunt them with dogs and still hunting. I think a lot of them actually do get killed off of corn and stuff like that in Vermont because there's a lot of
Yeah.
corn.
There's a lot more ag. Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
But the whole dog thing now is getting very difficult in Vermont
Is it?
because of that fella.
What's going on with that? Tell me about that.
It's mostly just landowners are mad because obviously dogs are going onto their property
Yeah.
and obviously like
They don't want dogs on their property. You can't
Right.
really control where the bear goes, and you can't control the dog goes necessarily. Like probably have some control, but not like oh, that's turn around, you're about to cross the property line.
I mean
Yeah.
I honestly can stop a dog anywhere as it is at any time.
Can you?
I've pulled them. I've stopped them multiple times in Maine, right on the Canadian border, and called them back.
Okay. All right. So you do have that kind of type of control.
If you want, a lot of these older bear hunters or less experienced bear hunters, or I don't even know, they're set in their ways, but they think that when you shock the dog, it's gonna prevent them, like it's gonna be like bad for them, and they're not gonna want to chase the bear anymore. And
Okay.
but I've never had that issue
You
at all.
still want to chase bears. Still
I
love
mean,
chasing
well,
bears.
once they're a bear dog, they're a bear dog, in
Yeah.
my opinion. You're not gonna if you scold them for it's not gonna affect
They're
them.
not making that connection. That, yeah.
Hmm.
So what's the law? I guess anywhere about if your dog's going to posted land and tree a bear. So if that happens, what do you do? I guess I don't.
I think
Because I have no idea.
You're supposed to get a whole probably law enforcement
Okay.
and either have them go with you to retrieve your dogs.
Okay. There's no way for you to peel them off a treed bear.
I mean,
You
yeah,
can?
I can probably tone if they could hear, I could tone them and
Oh, really?
and call them
And
back.
they would.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. They'll
Yeah.
eat. So okay, that's surprising. Sounds like you have some good dogs then, to be able to like leave a treed bear. I feel like they're like just.
I don't even
that point.
use leashes. There'll be a treat on the bear, and I'll just turn around, and start walking off, and I'll call them off the tree.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right. So sounds okay. Is that normal, or do you
No,
think?
no.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I getting the feeling that most people don't have that type of control. What about somebody? What is the law in Vermont then now? Is it kind of the same thing?
Yeah.
And so landowners want it. So what do they want? No running bears with dogs, they don't
They're pushing that you have to be in control of your dog the whole time, and
like physically, like
yeah,
on a leash.
Yeah, like they're pushing for
That's
that.
not going to work with it.
No.
That's nonsense. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's a tough one.
And I think they already banned coyote hounds.
Oh, really? In Vermont?
Yeah.
That's tough.
How many
It's a
people
tough-
do that? Is that even less than people who run bear dogs?
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
Is that more popular out west? I feel like.
Well, they use it. There's guys down in like Pennsylvania and stuff that are doing it too with in New York, I think.
Yeah, they do in New
with
York.
pretty good success.
Yeah.
Especially, I think it'd be really good over towards where you get that lake effect snow, because the deeper your snow is, you're better gonna be with the coyote dogs, because the coyote's breaking trail and he's wearing all that energy
that's
out,
true.
and the other dogs are just running right up that.
Running right up. Yeah. 100%. That makes sense.
I mean, up in like north, they do it quite a bit up in northern Maine. I
Yeah.
mean, they kill a lot of coyotes with dogs up there. We used to do it around here, but the problem is we get snow. This winter's been not like this, but you get the snow and then you get a day or two and then it freezes and crusts up and then
piles of junk.
Yeah, you can't run them. Or I mean,
have you guys ever run booties?
No,
Does anybody run them?
I don't think
Really? No. We used to have to do it all the time.
Yeah,
with our dogs. Depends on the trail conditions, but yeah, if it got hard or just we'd have to run them.
Yeah, it didn't crust up.
They didn't like them.
It didn't crust up this winter until a couple weeks ago.
I know. Yeah. Well, hopefully it's gonna melt. What's the freaking forecast? Is like we
It's
see
60.
it next week.
It's supposed to be 60.
Almost 70, I think, one day.
It changed.
Did it?
For that 70-degree day, stuff's changing.
It says 68 here. It's pretty close. I'll take it.
Oh,
Sunny and 68. We're gonna lose some snow next week. Actually, it's starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
50 tomorrow, 53, 60, 68, 52.
I
Back in the 40s, that's fine.
I finagled my way out of the back half of work today and came home and rode my sled for 3 hours.
Did you?
Before I came here, yeah. Went up to State Park and back. Did like a 50-mile loop. But I figured that was the last time I was going to get out, so I wanted to get it.
Yeah, you may still have.
I'll
I think
go-
it's going
I'll
to
go-
take a bit for this melt to melt off, though. I think.
The trails
The trails are thin now.
The trails are
Oh,
really,
are they?
Yeah. There were a lot of bare spots last week, so
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I
'Cause
didn't realize that.
'cause we
Wow,
got-
I'm surprised.
Just riding the
Yeah, I
snowmobiles
know.
riding on it,
Yeah.
pulverizes it and it doesn't last. But
yeah. I'll pull them up to my brother's place next week or the week after.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
they'll
probably
still have
almost
snow,
waist
but-
deep in the woods though.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I was out to New York last week, and snow was like essentially gone there. Maybe like a few inches left in spots, some bare spots, some, it's the same thing where it's like, oh, there's 8 inches here and then nothing here and then whatever. So like I spent a week out there and I was like used to that, and it's like warm and I'm like, oh, it's probably melting at home, but like we got like 2 storms while I was gone. And so I got home and I was messing around. I was gonna go out to grab something across the yard, and I just like had my rubber boots on, and I go, and it was like up to my freaking thighs. I'm like, what? I'm like, I didn't realize. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't realize just much snow. And then it snowed 2 more times since then. So it's like I don't even know how much up there. There must be, like I said, it might be in your waist, up to your waist in places.
It could be,
It's
in
bad.
spots, yeah.
Yeah, we need. I don't wonder. The deer may be. I don't know. I think if it melts off now, they'll be okay. But if we
get like a foot of snow, they're going to be
in the
screwed.
next 2 to 3 weeks, it's not going to be good. Not going to be good at all. I mean, I would say though, like this winter, everybody thinks it's a bad winter. This is like we've had some mild winters. This is probably more like an average winter historically. I feel like maybe a little worse than average. What do you think?
I don't know if it's worse than average, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we've just been getting lucky.
Yeah, I think so too. We've had like
Yeah.
a run of like mild winters, but I don't think this is because everybody's like so concerned about. I've heard at least like the deer, and I have people concerned about turkeys too. I have guys from down south texting me like, "Oh, the turkey's gonna die." I'm like, "No, they'll be all right. They'll be all right. This is like kind of normal."
I can't figure out where the hell those things go in the wintertime. Cause
Isn't it weird?
Yeah.
Isn't it so strange?
you don't see them,
I know.
and then all of a
It's so
sudden
strange.
it's like
And
a
then
light switch, and
Yep.
there's just turkeys everywhere.
I know. It's so strange.
It
It's
is
like they
weird.
crawl out of a hole.
And it's weird because it's like,
You'll see flocks of like 50 in
yeah,
the
but
winter, in the
here's
wintertime.
at least down or here, you will. But I feel like I see those flocks in like now, like March. But it seems like they're not even there in like January and February. So it's like, it's like almost like
Yeah.
a shift into a late winter thing. Where that's weird. But yeah, I don't know where I mean, I just think they're in the trees. They just don't leave. It's like sit on their branch.
That's the
all
problem
winter.
when they get into that snow and the predators just they
it's tough.
can't take back off. And the bobcats and stuff, they
Yeah.
snatch them right up.
I wish we could kill those things.
Yeah. Will your dogs run bobcats?
I haven't trained them to.
But they would probably.
They probably would.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. Did you run dogs in West Virginia with
I-
Josh?
No.
You didn't? Okay.
No.
Are you gonna at some point?
If I ever get time, I would like
yeah.
to, but
When's that season?
that's in December.
Oh, it's December.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're kind of like pretty focused on deer, I'd say, at that point.
I'm pretty over bear by then.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotcha. I was just curious if you had what the differences was. Sounds like Josh is saying there's a lot of bears down there.
He said that there was a lot of bears up here too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
They've killed so many though.
They killed.
He told me they've killed like 400 bears or something insane over like the years. Not just him, but like the people he's taken in as like their group, or something, some insane number.
Yeah, well, them groups are killing like 30 bear a year.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because you don't kill anywhere close to that, right?
No, like 5 to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's just. Yeah, this makes me think. Well, it's rugged there too. I bet there's. I don't know. I guess I don't want to speak on it because I don't know what it's like, but.
It's
Yeah, that
definitely
was
steeper
interesting.
down there.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's not as big, but it's like. I mean, those are legit. That's West Virginia is like, for people that haven't been there. Those are mountains. Those are legit. That's legit rugged stuff down there.
The good thing about down there is I think they have a lot of roads cutting
Yeah.
through there.
Yeah,
So
you can get like a lot of places.
Yeah.
Where here is that's what I'll say. Like it's not quite as big. Like the between stuff like here, like you could go miles and that kind of sucks. What's the longest you had to go in on I mean, you probably had to go up a mountain 2-3 miles, I bet, to get to a treed bear, right?
the furthest one I killed was 7.5 miles from a road.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that Maine or New Hampshire?
It was in the White Mountains. It was on the backside of Lafayette.
Oh my god. Was it a big one?
It was over 400.
Did you hate yourself after you pulled the trigger when you realized what you had in front of you?
I was just seeing red.
Dude,
It took-
400-pound bear, 7 miles to the whites is like, it sounds like a bad.
Holy shit.
That's
That's a
it
long
took-
way.
dude, that's brutal. So 2 200-pound bucks together, and also it's like a sack of sand. It's not like a buck, and 7 miles and the whites. That sounds. How long did that take you?
3 days.
Are you serious?
Yeah. We didn't
3 days.
We didn't drag it out though.
Did you quarter it?
Yeah, we quartered it, but
3 days.
that's the only time in my life I almost died
From
from
a heart attack?
From hypothermia.
All right, tell that story then. You got to tell the whole story. Tell the. This is crazy.
No, I honestly almost died. So
I'm not laughing at that.
it was like October 20th or 21st.
Yep.
It was like 50 something degrees,
Yeah.
right? I just had sweatshirt, jeans,
Yeah.
boots, and we strike the bear out of the truck up on the road up there in the White Mountains, and dogs take off. They go out like 2 miles and they're stopped, bayed on the bear, right? And I could see that on the GPS. That they're full bark. They're barely moving. I'm like, all right, they're looking at the bear. They're bayed.
Yep.
Had 4 dogs on it. So it was me and 2 buddies. The one buddy was the one with the gun, and he was the one that was supposed to shoot the bear.
Yeah.
So we go out 2 miles to where the dogs were. We're on the Appalachian Trail. That's how I was accessing this.
Yeah.
And I get to there, and I hadn't read the dogs in probably 45 minutes because they went up over the top of a mountain. So I get to there, can't pick them up. I go another mile, get to the height of the land, I pick them up. They're 2 miles further.
So you think the bear? You think he was on the ground?
Yeah,
Or he treed?
No, he was still on the ground. He never treed.
Okay, so all right. So he ran or got away from him.
They're just walking.
So the bear. Okay.
The bear just walks.
The bear
up.
that big is just
Yeah, they just
walking,
they just
and the
walk
dogs
up.
are just in a circle.
Yeah,
like,
they're just circling
Gotcha.
it, barking at it. But a bear walking through the woods, I mean, you can run and beat yourself up. It's very hard to catch up to that animal.
Yeah.
I mean, they just melt through the woods.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, I know.
impressive.
Yeah.
So this goes on for hours and hours and hours. And finally, I mean, I was going off. Well, the first buddy that had the gun, he quit at like the 2.5 mile mark on the trail.
Really?
Yeah. And so I took the gun. He headed back to the truck.
What was he gonna do? Just hang out at the truck?
Yeah. Well, he had
tired?
He had his truck there too. We had 2 vehicles.
Oh, okay, so he could leave.
Yeah.
So, if
He
he
ended-
sit at the truck, you might as well just keep walking.
He ended up leaving actually.
I bet.
He had to go to a wedding that day actually.
Okay.
So he had to leave at like 1 or 2. So anyways, this goes on for hours and hours and hours. And finally, the dogs had made a big swing, and I was able to kind of intercept them, right?
Yep.
And I get to like 700 yards and 600 yards and 500 yards and 400 yards and 3 and 2 and 100. And I mean, now this is the steepest, thickest, nastiest stuff I've ever been in my life. I mean, you can barely even walk through it. And the dogs are right directly below us, and you can see like the tops of like these fir and spruce trees moving. And my other buddy he was going to shoot the bear now.
Yeah.
And we get right there, and I can see the trees moving, and the bear's right there. It's like 20 yards below us. I mean, it's steep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. I was like, go down there and kill that bear. This is at like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And it started raining at like 11 or noon or something like that. So we are completely soaked. And we've already been like, I don't even know, 15, 16 miles on foot chasing the dogs. So he's like, I can't. I'm like, what do you mean you can't? He's like, I physically can't go down there and shoot the bear. So now I'm all pissed off. I'm like, this thing's got to die one way or another. So I grab the gun and I fall and I roll down through there. I fall like 20, 30 feet and I hit the ground. And I sit up and the bear is like right there. It's like 15, 20 feet in front of me with the dogs and it sitting on his ass. And he sits up and he looks at me, he turns to run, and I shoot him straight up the behind. Yeah. And he just rolls. And he rolls down the hill and he's just uprooting trees. And he rolls like 40, 50 feet down this steep hill. And he comes, and there's a flat spot, and he balls up down the bottom there. And I run down there and I finish him off right there. I'm like, all right, now what do we do? we got a bear.
7 miles. So this is like I'm picturing White Mountain.
This
like
is the
nasty,
most. This is
rocky, like up and down shit. Like
Lafayette's like 5,300 feet.
Yeah.
And I'm on the back side of that. I don't know what we were at, but it was probably close to 4,000 foot elevation where we killed it.
And that stuff's super steep and rocky.
It was
out and shit.
To put it in perspective, we were 300 yards from the Appalachian Trail. Where I killed the bear. That was straight above us.
Yeah.
It took me 45 minutes to go from the bear to the Appalachian Trail. That's how steep it was, to go 300 yards.
Yep. So I can picture it. Yep.
I mean, you grabbing trees and dragging.
So you're on like on a mountainside that was like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like no easy way up, down. It doesn't even.
No. So I'm like, all right. So my buddy, he takes the dogs and he's like, I'm gonna go up to the trail and see how it is. I'm like, all right. I'm gonna start skinning the bear. So I start skinning the bear, and I got like half of it skun, and then all of a sudden I just start shaking like bad, and I'm like, oh my god. I didn't realize. I was like, I'm cold.
Had the temperature dropped, or was it just from being wet?
It was dropping.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there. I'm like, I gotta go. Like this is not good. So it takes me 45 minutes. I get up there to the trail.
Is it getting dark at this point?
Yeah. So at this point, it's like after 3 probably.
Yeah.
Right. And we're 7.5 miles from the road. So I'm like, all right. I get up the trail and he's standing there with the dogs and he's just sitting there like just shaking. And he's like, we gotta go. I was like, yeah. I was like, I didn't realize after the adrenaline everything wore off. And then all of a sudden it's like we're really wet. And both of our phones, we had to get new phones.
Really?
Both of our phones
so you were that wet.
Soaked.
Got that wet in our pockets that they completely died. In our pockets.
Yeah.
That's how wet we were.
Yeah.
So I only have one picture of the fucking bear. Because I somehow turned my phone on and I texted the picture to somebody.
Yeah.
And then my phone died. And that was the last time that phone ever worked. So we hike out 7.5 miles. We get back to the truck and it's dark.
How long did that take you to get from there to the truck?
Like 2.5 hours. I can usually do about 30-minute mile if you're walking. Yeah. So I had blood running down the inside of my legs. The inside of my thighs are still purple to this day because it chafed so bad.
Oh my god!
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because of the. Oh god, it sounds terrible.
I literally had blood running down the inside of my legs. So we both, if we got pulled over, it would have been. We were both in there in our underwear, the heat right on high, all the way home, right? So
What time did you make it out?
It was dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After dark, probably.
So we get all the way back home. He goes home. And I start calling people. I'm like, we got to go back and get that bear tomorrow. So I round up like 5 guys. They're all going to hike up in there and take a quarter. So the next morning, I call my buddy that was with me. And I'm like, actually, no, I don't even know if I talked to him that next day for some reason. But so I get the 5 buddies. We get up there. And that night, they got 6 inches of snow up there. So this is in October.
Yeah. So
we were actually going to go up in from a different direction because I thought it was going to be easier. But the way we were going to go in this next time, you were going to have to go up to the top of the mountain, and you're going to have to come up out of the tree line.
Yeah.
And then walk the spine and then drop back down to where the bear was. But I figured it was a little bit shorter distance, but coming to find out it was not the way to go. So we get all the way up through there, and we get up in there 5 or 6 miles, and we come up out of the tree line, and we're all soaked at this point because they got 6 inches of snow on the branches and shit, and we're going through all this, and there was 40-mile-an-hour winds up on the top when you came out of the tree line, and with the temperature with the wind chill, I looked it up after, it was negative 20 something.
Jeez, dude.
All of our clothes froze solid, like it was like a rock. So we only made it 50 yards out of the tree line, and it was so cold, and everybody just froze solid. Their clothes did. We're like, all right. We're still a mile and a half from where the bear is. So we're like, all right, it's too dangerous.
That's not going to work.
I was like, we can't. So we turned around and went back. So we didn't get the bear. So then this comes the next day. And
this is kind of a good story. I like it.
So I got home, and I called my buddy that was with me when I killed the bear. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, we couldn't make it to the bear. He's like, it took me 45 minutes to walk down my stairs this morning. He physically couldn't walk down his stairs. His legs were so locked up from the.
Oh my God.
So, because we did 23 miles that day that I killed the bear. So then
and then you must have done another 10 the next day.
Yeah, up and back. We did at least
even though you didn't make it. Yeah.
So
those aren't easy miles either in those mountains.
So then we're on to the 3rd day, and the original buddy that killed the bear with me, and then another one was going to go up in with me. Now we're during the week. Everybody else is at work.
Yeah.
So we go in the original way that we came out, hiked all the way back up in there. It was warm that day. It was in the 30s. And we get all the way up top. We drop down into the bear, start a fire, finish quartering it, and caped it out the rest of the way.
Was it frozen?
Nope.
Okay.
Because it was all
sure
buried.
It was cold, but
and all the fat on the bear too. It just didn't freeze. So I had the head and the hide in my pack. I don't know if have you packed out a.
No, not a bear.
It's about 100 pounds.
Oh, I bet.
With the head and the hide. So I had that pack, and they had the quarters. It took me an hour and a half to go that 300 yards from the bear to the trail. That's how steep and thick it was. I was grabbing onto trees, and they were grabbing the loop on the pack and pulling me up the hill. And then we got back to the truck at
crazy
3 o'clock that afternoon.
You must have been so cooked. Your body must have been shot after those 3 days. Shot.
Yeah, I mean, there was another one that I killed another bear in the whites. The same type of deal. It just wasn't as far off the road. I had 2 guys with me, and one of them was supposed to kill the bear, and we ended up catching a bear, and he went down in a hole first thing in the morning. We passed that bear. It was a smaller bear, and then we ended up getting on this other bear, and they cold trailed it for 2 or 3 miles, and they were way out in front of us, and finally I see that they jumped a bear, and they were bayed just by looking at the GPS. And they ended up walking that bear and they were going away from the truck. So we ended up going back down to the truck, driving up the road a few miles, hitting a trail. And we walked that trail a couple miles up to where the dogs were. And they were there bayed for well over an hour in this tight spot. And I think we got in close, and the wind swirled something, and he busted out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem with them big bears. it's just like anything. I mean, you got to think about everything when you're moving into them if they're bait on the ground, because you're not going to –
Are they more afraid of you than the dogs?
Yeah.
For sure?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So
they'll tolerate the dogs,
yeah.
but the second you're in the equation,
they're gone.
That's interesting.
So they bust out of there, and so we take off after them. I mean, we've already been a long ways at this point. And we go like another mile or two, and then the guys I had with me, I mean, they were the dogs. We were staying like 700 yards from the dogs. We weren't gaining any at all from them. And we'd have been going like an hour, and we were still like keeping that 700 yards behind them, and we were going hard. And I asked him, I was like, can you go any faster? Like, He's like, no. He's like, this is all I got. He's like, I can't. I was like, well, we're not gonna kill the bear.
Yeah.
I was like, so either I call the dogs off, or I go and I try to kill the bear, and you go back to the truck. He's like, yep. So he turned around, went to the truck, and I went as hard as I could for like an hour and a half.
Jeez.
All the way up over the top, and finally he went all the way up to the top, and he started going back down over the other side, and he started coming down off that upper third, and it started to open up a little bit more, and I started to see flickers of dogs in front of me. I'm like, all right. I was like, and I got like one last burst of energy, and I took off, and it just worked out that when I caught up to the dogs, I still hadn't seen the bear yet. I had no idea how big the bear was, and when I caught up to the dogs, there was this big like 2 or 3 trunk tree that had blown over, and the bear had gone underneath the tree, and they were baying them on both sides of the tree. And I ended up, when I came down off the hill, I could see the dogs on both sides of the tree, and I hit the trunk of the tree, and I was standing on the trunk walking down the trunk, and the bear was like down underneath my feet in the tree, and I'm looking down through the tree limbs, and I see black underneath me. I'm like, all right, there he is. I was like, I don't know how big he is, but it's going to end right now. So I just put my barrel down between my feet, and I shot the bear. I mean, the bear is only like 3 feet off the end of my barrel. Yeah. I shoot, and this big giant head just goes flop right off the side of the tree. I hit him right behind the head. Yeah. And I look down. I'm like, oh my God! I was like, that thing's huge. So I get down there. Kill
another giant bear and way the hell out.
Yeah. I was over 2.5 miles from the road. Yeah. So I get down there, and all I could to drag that thing out from underneath that tree, and I only drug him maybe like 5 or 6 feet, and then I gutted him out, and my phone was dead. I had no service, and I'm like over 5 miles from my truck and I would have had gone up over the top. Jesus. And this is at it's after 3 o'clock, I think. So it's going to be getting dark soon, within 2 hours. So I'm like, all right. I got 6 dogs in my gun. I'm covered in blood. I just gutted this thing, and I stuck a stick in its chest to kind of help it cool down. I'm like, all right. I was like, there's a road 2.5 miles down over this side. So I start heading for that road, which is the opposite direction of where the truck is, right? So I was so tired that I had to stop like 2 or 3 times and sit down, walking downhill. I'm like, that's just like a whole different tired. Finally, I get down, and I come out to this backyard, and there's this big giant pine tree on the back of the lawn, and there's this target on the tree, and there's like this Lund fishing boat, and this is like a log cabin. I'm like,
I think I found the right house.
I think I came out to the right house. So I'm all covered in blood, and I got 6 dogs running. I go up and knock on the door, and this old guy comes to the door. He's like, "Can I help you?" I was like, kind of wondering if you could give me a ride. He's like, what's going on? I was like, I just killed a bear way up on top of a mountain. I was like, and I got to get a ride back to my truck. I was like, my phone died and this and that. He's like, well, where are you going? I told him where. He goes, you're a long ways from there. I was like, that's my problem. He goes, let me get my boots on.
Did you leave the dogs there?
No, so he opens his garage door up, and he had this old F-150 with a cap on it.
Oh, no shit. So you just throw him in the back?
I put all the dogs in the back with the cap, and we shut the tailgate and the cap, and I jumped in, and it took us 45 minutes to drive around to my truck.
Dude, that's the craziest thing you don't realize. Like, when you go into these pieces and you go up and over and back to the other side, like, that's the same thing when I picked them up. I didn't even drop you off. No, they tracked a buck.
No, we had parked and
and it was like same thing. I picked them up. It was like 45 minutes from.
Yeah.
And it's like that's crazy. Like how much ground you actually cover when you're like, oh, it took. I mean, it's not straight line, of course. You got to go all the way around usually.
But it was pavement. Like
yeah, yeah. No, I know.
it's a long ways.
Crazy. It's just like it just shows you how like big some of the stuff is. But yeah, that's great. So when did you get that bear out?
The next day, was a couple of us went up and packed that one out.
That's freaking bad. I guess, is it pretty cool up there that time of year? Is the meat pretty well good? Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because I know like in September, that's a concern. It's like pretty warm and you want to get it taken care of quickly. But I guess usually.
These are all middle to end of October.
Right, so you're up higher elevations. It's probably getting cold at night and it's probably not a big deal. That's cool. Sounds like you've been in some adventures doing this. Makes me want to do it now.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people are
That'd be fun.
going to those lengths to kill a bear.
It's fun, though,
That's
when
cool,
you go. I know what you're saying, though. Like, after the adrenaline dump and it's over and you push so hard to kill the thing, like that buck right there, I remember Ross and I were after him, and it was just a brutal day with deep snow when I killed him, and we were pushing hard. Like it was like knee to above my knee, and that thing was running like an idiot. And we were like, it was cold the whole day, and we killed him. And then we tried dragging him, and it was like, I remember it was like 2 hours after dark when we've been dragging him for 2 or 3 hours, and I just remember looking at him like, I think I'm cooked. Like I don't think I can. I think we got to go back and get help. Like we got to figure. It was same thing though. It was like we were sweating. And then had the adrenaline, we pushed, killed him, and then obviously a bunch of adrenaline then, and then it was like well, first off, it was like teens that day, maybe 10 degrees. And then, of course, it gets dark, so it's like dropping into like 10 single digits, and then now we're soaked, and we're trying to drag this thing out through just as much snow as when I killed him, and it was like, and it was not good. So we went and got the cavalry, came in, and and it was funny because we went back in that night to get him. I don't even think I drugged that thing more than 5 yards. I just didn't have it. Everybody else was like, I'm useless. Just, can you guys just try? I was like, try, and they're like, all right, just get out of the way. I was like jello leg, just like a zombie. Same thing with Ross, but yeah, we got him out. We actually I remember we took a snow machine in because we get pretty, close enough to cut a lot of distance off, but yeah, it's fun. It's fun stuff. What do you have for a pack do you have a frame pack to get those things?
Yeah, a few of them, yeah.
Yeah, I guess you would have to, huh?
I don't even drag bears anymore.
Oh, you don't?
No. If it's more than a couple hundred yards and if it's big enough, I
wouldn't either.
It takes me terrible. I can quarter and skin and quarter a bear and have it in a pack in an hour.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah.
And then I just put it on my back and I walk out with it.
Yeah. Dude, dragging bears is like the worst thing ever.
It literally doesn't make sense to me.
There's no
terrible. There's no point in doing it.
It's terrible. They're like the hardest.
I remember trying to just get yours like over that little boulder field.
70 yards up a bouldery little ridge, and it was this is stupid. Like you can't even move them at all, like that. And it was like 180 pound sow.
You put like a slip knot up under its.
Yeah, we were like trying to
up under its chest, and then it just was like slither its way out of the thing. Like,
dude, they're so brutal. Like the worst thing.
I've come to the point now if we kill like 130, 140 pound bear, I'll take a ratchet straps and tie it right up and put the whole bear on a frame pack and just walk out with it.
That's probably the best way to do it. I'd rather do that than drag a 130 pound bear. Yeah.
It's really not that bad.
Actually, Kevin and I, that velvet buck there, of course, that was not a very big body deer, but we walked out. We carried that thing out on our back. It was Kevin's idea. He's like, we should do this. And I'm like, dude, go for it. And then he did it, and he's taking off. I'm like, I can't let him just carry my whole buck out on his back. So he got tired. I'm like, all right, let's go. Walked out. We actually had a decent distance to go, but it was pretty easy walking and not a ton of topography. But, yeah, that was funny. It's actually like not as bad as you'd think. Like to carry something.
No.
Yeah. Like it's not too bad. I think if you were doing like miles and miles and a bunch of, up and down, it would be pretty rough. But do you bring like trekking poles or anything when you're? No. I feel like that'd be helpful with those, like a 100-pound pack. Yeah. Especially going up and down.
What do you wear for boots? I'm curious.
I was running Crispies. Yeah. Some like when I was that 7.5 miles though, I had like logging boots on. I mean, I was screwed.
Oh my God.
You must have been. I can't even imagine you the day after you got that pair out. You must have just been junk, like everything.
Do you like tape
No, I
up,
think
do you,
after
like,
a
tape
while
up your thighs?
you start getting better.
Okay.
What was the aftermath of like the bloody thighs? Do you have to like tape them up to?
No, I just had to wear
through?
different pants.
That's freaking brutal. So, do you wear rubber boots when you track or Crispies? Deer.
Both. It
You
depends
do.
on the snow. If it's dry snow, I'll wear those leather boots.
Okay.
But if it's a wet snow, I was starting to get like a pinch last year with the Crispies because
Oh, really?
the leather got really wet.
Okay. Gotcha.
But if it's a drier snow, it's fine. But
Gotcha. Yeah.
That makes sense.
I don't know. I don't like rubber boots in general. I obviously there's places for them. I get it, but like I am always like trying to go to like Crispies what I wear, but that style boot, if I can help it, kind of wherever like it makes sense if I can do it. I mean, there's some particular out in New York. I got some really swampy wet shit that I hunt, and it's like I probably have rubber boots on. That makes a lot more sense, but I don't like them, and I feel like honestly like when you're talking about the type of country that you got that. Probably both bears out of, but particularly the one where it took you 45 minutes to go 300 yards. Like, dude, that and rubber boots, I don't know. Especially if it's like slippery leaves or any sort of snow. Like, I don't know. I just feel like you'd be slipping and sliding.
those lacrosse
all over.
boots, they get pretty good traction with those.
Do you?
With the Air Bob sold it.
Yeah.
They have really good traction. But
I just feel like part of it for me, it's the traction's one thing, obviously, but the dexterity, like just being able to like put your foot and like manipulate. Like I just feel like they're, you know what I mean? Like they're.
Oh, your foot's not held in place as well. It can move around.
Yeah, and
bit.
but then even that I don't know. I just feel like you aren't as nimble and like.
I feel I wore the Crispies all spring, all summer, and most of the fall, and then one day this year it was raining pretty good, and I put on my rubber boots, and I felt like I'd never walked before. Like I was snapping sticks and stumbling, and I'm like, "What is going on right now?"
That's what I'm saying. That's kind of what I mean. Like you don't have the. It's tough to describe. It's like.
Yeah, you can't feel as well.
You can't feel it. You can't like place your foot with like precision and like navigate. I guess the best way to put it is you can't navigate technical terrain. I feel like as precisely. I don't know. Then with rubbers versus like a good like hiking boot. But yeah, no, I mean, dude, I can't imagine doing that type of miles in a rubber boot. I know some people do it, but man, it's just like.
I mean, I've done.
Have you?
10 to 12 mile days.
Yeah.
I mean, more times than I can count with a rubber boot.
Yeah.
But
I've done it like shed hunting in like wet shit in the spring on like not rough, like easy terrain like that. But like I can't.
I mean, your feet definitely hurt at the end of the day.
Yeah, I bet. Dude, that's crazy. That's a cool story. I've never heard. I don't know if you told that story a lot or before, but that's pretty cool. That's a really neat story. I mean, like. You think about something, and that's like something you'd hear about out west, like a type of scenario. Yeah. But like you can have that in the east, which is kind of neat. Like that we have that.
Where
type
that
of
was
stuff.
is basically the most remote place that I know of, and at least New Hampshire, Maine, and Vermont, Mass. Yeah, there's nowhere else that's more remote than right there.
Yeah,
I mean that's 15 miles across there.
Yeah, I think you could probably have that in the Adirondacks. I'd say.
Right.
That's another place you could. But it's just cool that you can, whether you're bear hunting or deer hunting or doing whatever, that you can like. Be in a place that, I mean, I don't want to say it's cool that you can be in a place where you could die, but like,
well, there's people that die up there every year.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, that mountain in particular. I mean, every year you hear people dying up there.
Yeah.
For the same reasons that we almost did.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 50 degrees. Next thing you know, it's raining. Next thing you know, it's 6 inches of snow. Because if we would have hung out, we would have died. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta, especially when you're. Yeah, you talk about being wet and then. The temperature drop in the wind. Like, that's a thing. You can be soaking wet when it's 45 degrees out, and you could be in trouble. like hypothermia, because like
as
long as your body temperature, if it's colder than your body temperature and you're soaked and your body can't retain heat, like, I mean, people get hypothermia in like, 60-degree water, you know, like, so it's when you're wet, and then you don't have the ability when you're wet up there, if you're way in, to just like, oh, I'm just going to just like haul out of here in 25 minutes. Like, that's not happening. It's going to take hours. And then it's like, you get tough.
We knew though that, if as long as you stay moving, you're going to keep your body temperature up enough that you're going to be fine. But
you can only do that for so long though. You know what I mean? And like, I mean, that's probably how people, I'm sure that.
I think what gets a lot of people is that they stop moving because they're scared and they don't know what direction they're in, they're lost.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what gets a
They
lot
get
of people.
really cold, yeah.
But
I mean, imagine how many calories you burn on a day like that when you're like trying to stay warm, you're freezing, you're soaked, and you got to go. Like, that's crazy. You must burn 10,000 calories that day, something insane, I bet. You'll be eating your bear fat trying to stay warm at the kill site.
the buck I killed 2 years ago, it was the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I think it was a Thanksgiving Day. Yeah, it was. We got the snow Thanksgiving Day 2 years ago, and
I'm trying to think about what the hell I was doing that day, Thanksgiving Day 2 years
I think you killed the buck the same day I shot mine.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was Thanksgiving?
It was the day after, Friday.
Okay, got it. Yep, I remember now.
I couldn't find a big buck track that day, and I walked way up this mountain. I made this big loop. I saw 2 small bucks, and it was like after 2 o'clock, and I'm coming down off the hill, and I'm falling over in the snow, and I'm laying on there. I'm like, sitting there, and I'd go like another 300-400 yards, and my legs would turn to jello, and I'd fall over again. I'm like, this isn't working. Like my legs are just gone.
I know the feeling. You're like, I'm kind of done.
And I hit this main logging road that my truck was on, and it was like 700 yards back to my truck. I'm like, it's like 2:30. I'm like, do I go to my truck?
Yeah.
Then I'm like, but I haven't been up in here yet. And I'm like, whatever. So I just stumble my way up, because if you're in the woods, you're in the game, right?
Yeah.
And I get way up in there, and next thing you know, I find this deer had been pawing around in the leaves, and there's tine marks. I'm like, huh. And I follow it like maybe 100 yards, and there's a bed and bound marks. I'm like, well, we're in the game.
Yeah.
Now it's like 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I follow him, I don't know, 400 or 500 yards, and I come up top of this hill, and I peek down over the other side, and he's standing there looking back, and I shoot him. And I'm 700 yards from my truck. I could have quit an hour and a half before that and gone back to the truck, but
yeah, I know. It's tough. That is a tough decision when you're tracking, is like when it gets to that time of day and you're like trying to like, okay, like how much time do I have? Like, do I push till dark? Like,
and you're demoralized because your legs don't work. You've been
dude,
8 miles and you haven't cut a buck track or a big one.
I know that I'm cooked when I start trying to like. I got short legs, so it's a problem. But like I try to step over logs and they keep catching my feet on them. I'm like, all right, this ain't like you said, this ain't working. Like I think I'm done. Like I can't.
It does help though if you just sit down for 5 minutes.
It does.
And
100%.
You stand up and you're fresh again for a half mile. But
yeah. I just don't have as long after every time, but yeah.
I usually hit a wall in deep snow when my hamstring starts to cramp. Like they both start locking up, and I just have to like sit there and try and touch my toes for a couple minutes before it'll.
Brutal to like really cover ground in. It's freaking brutal.
Yeah,
it really is. That's why like half the time I don't even. I mean, there's not much to do. I don't know. What are you gonna do when there's this much snow in the woods this time of year? It's like
even if it's not deep snow though, it seems like even if it's just a little bit, I get to that point after however many miles where I hit the wall and.
I just think the deep
start
stuff
to cramp and then it's bad.
Like it just gets really, really difficult. The other thing with the deep snow too, it sucks, is you don't actually see what you're stepping on, because everything just looks kind of like gradual. But then you step into it and it's like a log and a rock and a crevice, and you're like falling all around, and you're slipping off the side of a rock because you don't even know it's there, and it's like, and then you get tired and it's like, this is freaking miserable. It'd be funny. We should. Just see a video of yourself at the end of the day, and one of those days you're like, oh, look, this guy. Like you said, have you ever walked before? Like, what's wrong with this person? Yeah, that's fun. It's motivation to get, in good shape for that time of year, though. I guess during dogs.
I don't think it matters how good a shape you're in.
Yeah, you're still going to get there. I'm sure some people can get there a lot faster, but you must get in decent shape though from chasing dogs around.
Yeah.
So you go into like November and December. Yeah, you got your legs. That's good. That's probably a good thing. How many miles do you think you walk during dog season?
Not as many as you think.
No?
I mean, most of the time I can drive within short distance.
Okay, I gotcha. It probably depends on where you're at.
I mean, there's a lot of roads around.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't go up into the big national forest stuff.
You don't do that much anymore? No.
There's not. I don't have to go more than 10 minutes to find bears.
Yeah,
I mean, they're just everywhere. So there's no point in going looking for them.
How long? So you've been running. How old are you?
34.
And you've been running dogs since you were like 17.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think there's a lot more bears now than there was then?
I think it's the same.
You think it's the same?
Yeah.
Okay. So why do people? Is it just because there's more people and more conflict? Because I feel like people think there's more bears than there used to be. And the state seems like they want to bring it down, so maybe that's a perception, or are they just like, what is it just because there's conflict and they're becoming nuisance because there's more people and more houses and population, or what do you think?
I don't know. I think a lot of it depends on the year too. I think that some years when you have less feed, you're gonna have more conflict, and so
that's right.
it seems like there's more bears, but they're always there.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, the feed thing's big. It really dictates.
That's really what dictates the conflict.
Right.
Is natural feed.
Yeah, because if they don't need to be raiding chicken coops and dumpsters and corn. Well, they'll probably go in cornfields either way, but yeah, I mean, even people like have less success with baits on years.
If you have that year we had 2 years ago, right, where you were tripping on acorns.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna come out of den in the spring, and all them acorns are still there. They can still eat all those, so they're not gonna have as much conflict.
Yeah. Do you see them? So you think they're feeding a lot of acorns even in the spring? That makes sense because like that's the interesting thing with this area versus like the Midwest or like even like PA or areas of PA or New York, is I feel like, or Western New York, we'll say. A lot of times in those areas, the deer density, turkeys, whatever, the animal density is so high that I don't think there's many acorns left in the spring. But I feel like on a good mass year, there was so here.
Yeah, like
we
2
don't
years,
have enough,
2 years ago.
We don't have enough animals to clean them up, and there's like half of them at least are still left.
Right.
So that's interesting. So you think they're getting on those early in the spring too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's not too long, and then you got blueberries are coming in.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're eating grass right out in the spring a lot.
Right off the bat. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the cool things is to go up like north of here, northern New Hampshire, Vermont, right around that like 1st of May, when like it's the grass is nothing real else is green, but the grass is like, especially down like the bottoms along the ag, and it's like there's so many bears in green fields like just
sitting there
all over the place. Yeah. It's like, well, probably up near kind of where you're from, it's probably like
I went to my brother's. Yeah, I went to my brother's house last year, and we took a ride to try and roost some birds. And within a mile of his house, there were like 4 or 5 adult bears out in fields, just out in the hay fields eating grass.
It's the same thing that's out west. What they're doing too, I'm pretty sure. Those mountainsides that green up and lose the snow, and then they start to green up. All those bears are up on those mountains. Oh, ski slopes too. See a ton of them on ski slopes in the springs when that's greened up.
Yeah, usually. Drive-by Cannon.
No, there's always a bear on
Cannon.
Yeah. Always a bear on Cannon.
Yeah, you bet money there's going to be one when you go for that.
Yeah. Especially in the right time of year. It's like, there he is. You can't hunt that whole area, can you?
I think it's all state forest.
Okay. See, I thought for some reason you couldn't hunt Cannon. That'd be a good place to go. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm sure. That's across the road from where I shot that bear. So.
Right. I think I looked into it because I always see a bear. I'm like, I wonder if you can.
I know of some 500-pounders that are on the other side of that.
Do you?
Yeah, but
that's some steep. Cannon's steep. It's fucking obviously like that's like old man on the mountain, freaking mountain. So yeah, obviously it's steep, but yeah, that's some rugged country. It's cool that they go up in there. Do you think the density is a little bit lower up in that country?
Well, supposedly it's the most.
I think it's because of the oak. Or because they're not getting shot.
There aren't any oak.
That's true.
There's a lot of beech.
Yeah. In my mind, it's like it's such a limited food source that like I can't. You wouldn't think that beech mass production could sustain them a whole population, I guess, is what I'm, in my mind at least.
Well, it's only going to sustain them for a couple
Right,
months.
right.
And then you got blueberries, and you got
Yeah.
raspberries, and then you got baits. Because there's a lot of baits in that country.
But are people getting? But it seems like per square. Seems like there's probably a lot of areas expanses where people aren't putting a bait where you killed that bear way.
No, but
you know,
that
up
road
there.
that goes in there, there's 10 baits.
Yeah. So you think they're
Those bears
all coming away? Okay.
They come down out of there
So
and
they're
they
going
feed.
that far.
Yeah.
We already talked about that. They're going that far. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. I guess so. Then a lot of the bears, it doesn't matter where you're at. If it's a bait state, then they're like probably going to be on a bait at some point during the day or the fall or that week. They're going to get on a bait. No matter how remote or high they're hanging out.
As long, yeah, it depends on if there's any mast.
Right.
The bigger bears are gonna choose natural feed
You
over
think
bait.
so? Yeah. If they don't have to come out,
Yeah.
they're not gonna. Yeah, that makes sense. That's the highest, huh? Yeah, I guess that's why they have the 2 bear thing. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It just always blows my mind. That's the country that's that, like what you're talking, like the 5,000, 4 to plus 1,000 footers are sustaining that type of. I know they're coming down. Don't get me wrong.
I don't think
but
they're
like,
up on tops.
Yeah, but
they're
yeah,
down on the bottoms. Yeah.
Yeah, I always just picture them up on some bald ass mountain, just like eating rocks, and like how are they living up there? I know that's not what they're doing.
I don't think
but
there's anything up
in
on
my
Washington.
head, no,
but-
I know. I just think in my head, I'm like, I know they come down and they're probably spending more time down lower, but yeah, it's cool that they can scratch out a living. But I guess you're right. If they're getting fed, and them just like in northern Maine, they're getting fed, then they're probably in really good shape. I wonder how many pounds of freaking bear feed or a bear bait that those things are eating that like gets eaten. And
Well, I think they'll eat 40, 50 pounds at a sitting. I mean, they'll eat a lot.
I'm not. Yeah, I mean it's crazy. Some of the.
I mean,
Dude,
they'll
it's
eat.
crazy.
I've cut guts open to be almost 5-gallon pail worth in there.
Yeah, I'm not
on a bigger
surprised.
bear.
Oh yeah, I mean, fill up 2 55-gallon baits, and like, if you have a handful of bears in there, they'll clean it out in like a day or two. It's like, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's a lot of freaking calories.
Mm-hmm.
So what's next? What do you got planned for this year for deer? Same stuff, or you got anything new?
Same stuff, yeah.
Same stuff, yeah. Are you burnt out on chasing one buck?
Oh, 100%.
Did you chase one this year?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Was it the one that everybody knew about, or was it a different one?
I didn't even hunt that deer.
Okay, so it
I
wasn't
did.
that
I
one.
hunted him the first day
Okay.
of muzzleloader. And Jeremy went in there,
Yep.
and he went probably, I don't know, mile and a half past where I was. He was the first one in. I was the second one in. I hunted till noon, and I came out and I counted 8 trucks on that road on my
I'm
way
not
out.
surprised. Literally, I feel like who was I telling this to?
Did you know I saw that deer
Yes, during
bear season?
yes, I heard about that. Yep. I can't tell you how many people sent me trail camera pictures of that deer, and I'm like, I get it, and I'm like, oh, I don't really like go crazy. I'm like, I love seeing pictures, but like, I mean, that's great. Like, I'm not gonna like. I don't care. Like, oh hell, that's a giant, dude. Like, awesome. And so I like get this, and by the third time, I was like, I feel like I've seen this deer already. And I start like looking back. I'm like, it's the same fucking deer. Like, go back. That's the same deer. I'm like, oh my god. Like, what is going on? It's like literally like 3 or 4 people like sent me trail camera pictures of that deer. And I was like, I'm like, and then I'm like, what is going on?
Was it their
It's crazy.
pictures? Or they just
Some of.
you don't know?
I think. I mean, I would have to say that at least 2 of them, I think, were their pictures. I will say that I did get the same picture from 2 different people, so I was like, and then it got weird. I was like, this is like, I'm just, what's going on? I don't know. I don't want any part of this deer. And I just stopped talking. I just didn't even say anything to anybody. I was like, yeah. But it was weird because I'm like, this guy sends me, whoever sends me a picture, and I'm like, I don't say anything. I'm like, oh yeah, nice deer. And I'm like, I don't know. It's like a weird situation. Like 2 people are sending the same deer, and you're like, eh. So yeah, you're burned out until you find another giant, and then maybe you're gonna do the same thing. You'll find out.
I hunted
It's
one.
tough,
I
huh?
hunted one hard this year.
Yeah.
I never saw him. And this deer, one I was after this year, I mean, he's nothing. He's like a mid 130s 8-pointer.
Yeah.
Just heavy, nice,
Yeah.
wide. But where he is, I have to hunt him. I can't not hunt him. And I never saw that deer, and I can't figure out where he is.
Think he made it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the first year I've hunted him, and I've been getting pictures of him this last year was the third year.
Yeah. Is he doing similar stuff every year?
Well, I don't know, because the couple times, so the first year I knew about him, I didn't run cameras where I think he lives.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 years ago, I ran a couple cameras in there, and I had him quite a bit, daylight and everything. And then this past year, I ran quite a few cameras in like a very large area, trying to kind of pinpoint down where his core was. And like I'd get him daylight in August and September, like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, hitting scrapes, and I'm like, he's right here, but it's like once every week or every 10 days.
Yeah.
And I got it gridded fairly well, and when he's in there, I'll get him on like 3 or 4 different cameras, and then I might not get him for 7, 10 days, so I know he's not there. But when he is in there, he's broad daylight, just kind of hanging out, and I never really figured out where he was.
Do you have him during the rut at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not only once a week or once every 10 days. And he'd come through, and I'd get him on quite a few different cameras. I'd get him a couple cameras in the morning, a couple cameras half mile away in the afternoon, and then he'd be gone.
So we've talked about this in the past, but I want to get your take. So just what you described. So people will say, and I actually do agree to an extent in some situations, that, oh, just because you're not getting his picture doesn't mean he's not there. But when you don't have any pictures of the deer for, like you said, 7 to 10 days, and all of a sudden you get him in like an 8-hour period and 5 cameras, don't you feel like he's not there on those other days?
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, that's how I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think he's there, because like when he's there, he's like bing, 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 and then it's like gone, and it's like not even on one camera I kind of agree. But then again, sometimes I think it depends on the deer, because the one we chased late season, I'm sure he's right there, and I get his picture like once every 3 weeks. And I just think he avoids cameras and just knows how to get around them. So I think it depends on the deer. But I think some deer, you kind of know when they're there and when they're not, for sure. Like, you get that feeling just from like exactly what we described. But like, and then it gives you confidence, though. They're like, all right, my cameras are in the right spot. Like, I know when he comes through what he does, but then there's this whole other big chunk that you don't know about. So would you say he's probably spending most of the time in a place you just don't know about?
I think he's in a place I know about, but
you can't get in there.
Or I can't. I'm just not.
So this past year, I don't know if we talked about this before, but it seemed to me like it was one of the best antler growth years that I can remember. Would you agree with that, or what do you think?
I don't have anything to go off, honestly.
No,
because every deer. I mean, that one there, he didn't get any bigger. I mean, that's all he's ever going to be. You know what I mean?
I just feel like I heard myself, other people, about more bigger. Like, I think that I knew of more 160 plus inch deer.
Well, that one that
that
one other one we're talking about, you know, he's whatever he is, he's 170 to 180. He's in there somewhere, and he's been like that for years.
He has been, yeah.
So
yeah, that's true.
I mean, I got pictures of him from back in 2021, and
do you? Yeah, he was that big then.
He's just
that's true. I actually have seen pictures of him from. I don't think they're yours either from back then. So that makes, and he's been big. But I mean,
the only thing he has going this year is he had an extra point, still, I mean, I always figured he was in the 160s, but now I kind of figure because he's got a lot more mass now than I think he did before. But
this year, that's a big deer. But then there was that 180 something typical kill. Do you see that one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, he's
a framey, tall. I mean,
dude,
he had everything.
And then I actually know someone that
the other one
hit that deer like 2 to 3 days before. Shortly before he was killed. It was after him. I know of another couple booners that no one knows about that got killed. Like I just from what I've seen and like what I've seen myself, and like I just feel like last year was a really good year, and I'm wondering, there was some, well, I think it was spotty in some places, but decent mass last year. I feel like the winter, and I always wonder like what's the, I think it's deer specific, right? Like some deer, like you said, just don't grow. And some deer have it in them. It's almost like they're going to make a big jump no matter what the circumstances are.
The ones that are going to really grow are going to be the 10-point frame, and they're going to be wide. Those are the only ones that are going to really explode.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. But I always wonder if it's like, what's the combination that allows them in like this country? Like, is it?
It's age. It's all. It's
well, for sure age, but it's like, is it? But there's got to be factors outside of age and genetics, like their nutrition and like the environmental factor, I think is also a part of it. And I wonder, so for like, just to give you an example, say that there was no mass last year, which I know there was some, and then we had an early winter and then a late spring, and then it's like, I don't know, maybe it's dry. I don't even know if that's even an accurate way to say it. If it's dry, they're going to have a poor antler growing year. I've heard that if it's wet, they do. I've also heard that if it's dry, then the nutrients in plants are more concentrated, so they get more nutrients from like the tonnage that they eat. So I don't know. But I always wonder if it's like, okay, if they go in with like, there's not a lot of mass, maybe they go in like with less fat reserves. It's a tough winter, so they come out in the spring leaner and in tougher shape. Are they going to have a below average antler growing year? I don't know. I always wonder like if it is going to affect them. So
I don't know.
I
don't think it does.
You don't think it does?
Well,
I mean, I know for some deer it doesn't. That's what I'm saying. But I wonder if, on average, and there's no way to know this. We can't go in and take
I think the deer that it matters are the freaks, right? The absolute megas. I don't think it matters.
Yeah. They're still going to be big.
Because think about the megas that you know of. I mean,
oh, I know some.
It doesn't matter what year. They're still giants.
I know some. I know one, too, that, like, he came out of a tough winter. This was a while ago, but he was, like, this deer was, like, he was 10 when he was killed. And he was, like, I'm sure you've seen the picture. I'll show it to you after if you haven't seen it. But he, I don't know, at 5 he was, like, 150. And then at 6 he was, like, probably 160. And then I think he might have hit 170 at, like, 7. And then at 8 he was, like, 160 again. And then at 9 he was, like, 150. It's like, oh, he's going downhill. And then at 10 he was, like, 179 or something like that. And I was like, what the hell? Like, by far his biggest, most impressive rack. So it's like, I'll figure that out. Who knows? I mean, to the point where, like, I had a picture of him a couple different years. I was, like, way on the outside. Like, I guess pick one picture a year of him, like, every 2 or 3 years type of thing. And never really. I kind of knew where he was, but it was another thing where it was like I wasn't going to go over there. Like, I could have, but it was like people were, like, after him in that area, so I just stayed away. But, yeah, it was the point where, like, you wouldn't even recognize that it was the same deer when he was, like, in the 150s to, like, when he was almost 180. Like, he just totally different class. Like, it is him, like, but it's just crazy. So I know any deer can do anything. I get that, but I just wonder if on average, like, it just seemed to me like last year was a good antler growing year from what I saw and heard. But I don't know. Has anybody found? Well, they probably if they're gonna find him, they'll probably find him in the next month. But no one's ever. Does anybody have this sheds? No
Not
sheds in that deer.
Ever. No.
That's a freaking weird. Like, what is the story with that when no one finds these big deer? Like, where do they go? They like drop them in the river or drop them in a lake? Like, isn't that interesting? Like, or is like someone just pick them up and not say anything? There's probably some of that too. But I know and keeps their mouth shut. I do know that does happen. I will say I know people that pick big sheds up and don't.
Well, it's like that. Well, that other one that from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I know 2 people that have the same side of that deer from 2 different years.
Yeah.
But I don't know of anybody that has the one with all the kickers and shit on it.
Yeah.
That I don't know anybody that's ever found those.
Yeah.
What are those just up there getting chewed by squirrels?
Well,
I mean,
it's like that's such a big freaking antler, dude. And like,
yeah, it was like 80-something inches.
If it's just laying there on the ground, I don't care where it is, unless it's in a hole. Like, how is someone not going to walk by that in a 4-year period? You know what I mean? Like, and it's weird to me. Yeah, it's weird. I wonder. But then there's some deer where like you literally people have their sets for like 5 straight years, and they drop with like in the same area every year.
Yeah,
it's
the same lawn every year.
Yeah, it's a lot of times what it is. Literally, like
somebody just the other day they sent me a Snapchat or something. They're like, "Oh, look at the dog just came in the house with a freaking 4-point side." It's like, what?
I know. Oh, it happens all the time.
I see it all the time when people are out walking their dogs on these trails and stuff, and they don't hunt or nothing. Their dog just comes running up with an antler. I think a lot of antlers get found like that.
Yeah. I just wonder, like, where the hell is that deer dropping his antlers? That there's definitely a chance that someone's scooping up those sheds and they're not saying anything. Because I know of a couple scenarios of really big deer that has happened and is currently happening on. Like, that literally, like, I don't know that maybe, like, 3 people know about.
But
and, like,
somebody knows about it.
Yes, but if you weren't me or the other 2 people, then you would think, like, so my point is maybe somebody has that buck sheds that we're talking about and just no one knows about it. I'm saying it's possible.
I don't think it is. Unless they're coming from not local. That's the only way I can figure it.
Yeah. Maybe.
I mean,
I know
the people that we know that hunt these animals.
Yeah. No, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know. But what if he shifts to just a weird different spot in the winter? I don't know. And then
see, that doesn't make sense to me because all those deer for 15 miles go to the same area to yard.
Yeah.
And I
don't know.
There's deer.
Well, but if he did, someone would have found his sheds. So he probably doesn't.
But see, that's another thing that doesn't make any sense to me. Why are there deer known deer from 15 miles away?
I know they come here.
Come from 3 towns over
but
to
the deer
yard.
that's right next.
Yeah, but the deer that's there that lives there why does that make any sense?
It doesn't make any sense to me either. They just do weird shit. I totally agree. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. It's just you'll never figure that stuff out. I've stopped trying to. Even like it's a funny thing because like even in where you can really see it is in New York because everything's so segmented and broken up, and like there's really clearly areas that have way better food, like a standing grain field or whatever, or way better habitat, like and left alone. So like around here, everything is a little bit more even food, habitat, pressure. Like it's kind of like it's not even, but it's more spread out or more even across the landscape. Out there, you have like areas that like don't get hunted, have great habitat, have a ton of food. Then like a mile away, no food, shit habitat, gets pounded by hunters, and it's like, why are these bigger deer not just like always in the best spots? Because they're not always like, right. And I say the best spots, the perceived best spot. They're not always. Sometimes they're in like that shitty habitat block with no food that gets pounded, and like that's where they live. And it's like, why don't you just go over there and you're just gonna get left alone and like have all the food you want? So you see that all the time. And then like like you'll have the same thing like in the winter, like all the food, but a buck just stays by himself in some weird little hole that doesn't make any sense. So I can see it. You'll never figure them out. I mean, I think you can like the tendency of that deer to go to that area, deer in general in that area to go to that spot to winter. Yeah, a lot of them will, but that doesn't mean they're all going to do it.
No, because half of them still stay 15 miles away in winter. What I don't understand what causes half of them to travel that far and the other ones not.
100%. I don't know. I wish, what would be cool is if we had more GPS like stuff on these deer around here. Just to, not like, I just think it'd be super interesting because maybe we would figure out something, but we just don't. I mean, I say that. I think now there's probably a lot of cameras and a lot of people in the woods, so we have at least some snapshot of like how they're doing it that we have, and still more than we used. Yeah, way more than we used to, but still, I mean. I'm telling you, man, I know of some literally Boone and Crockett deer that I don't think many people know about, and I know people that have their sheds. like right now. And I know guys that is in the same situation as you're talking about, too, that have them, and they don't even know where their shed, like, I don't know where this deer goes in sheds. Like, I have no idea. Never seen his sheds. So, I don't know. It's all a big mystery until it isn't.
Well, that's like that giant I was hunting there a couple of years ago. I'd never, over 5 years, I never figured out where that deer summered. And
did anybody have them in velvet?
Not that I know of. It just doesn't make any sense.
So I'm saying, man, they get some of those deer figure out these little, it's like the glitch in the matrix where they can just squirt into some little spot that, or whatever. And well, it's the same thing. I always wonder too, you have a buck that you just have during October, November, December, and then he disappears until the following. It's like, where is that deer all? Who knows? I don't know. I think sometimes they're moving so far that like you wouldn't even
associate. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like you wouldn't even think that that's the same. You wouldn't think to even look there. And then if someone was hunting there and had his picture, they wouldn't put together that like you might know about this because it's like such a long distance. I remember Jeremy talking about a really big Vermont buck one year that he had a really cool trail camera picture of. I don't know if he found the shed. But I remember he said that deer was going like 20 miles to winter somewhere else. Like didn't like an insane distance. And we're not talking like northern Maine. We're talking like,
yeah,
not northern Vermont either. Like, I don't know, central, southern Vermont type of thing. So it's not, they definitely like yard up, but it's not like these huge migrations like you have in the Adirondacks or way up north. So I don't know. They just do weird stuff. You got to think about all the big deer that like all the sheds from these deer that don't get found. Like, where are they?
I don't think they last very long, honestly.
You don't think they do? Yeah. You might be right.
Because I found a deadhead a couple of years ago in the swamp.
Yep.
And it was gnarly. One of the biggest skulls I've ever seen on a deer. It was big bases, and it had these big giant flyers and kickers coming off the twos. And there was literally just like the beams and like half the tines and the kickers left. And it was 4 or 5 years old because I had pictures of that deer.
Oh, did you?
And it was a giant deer. And he just disappeared, and I ended up finding his deadhead like 4 or 5 years, and it was just barely another year. I think it was going to be gone.
They just chew them up. Yeah, you might be right on that. You'd still think, I don't know, maybe they. But you said even that was, you found it, and it was 5 years. But like you'd think for the first 2 or 3 years, there's enough bone there that like it's pretty. If someone is, particularly in deer season when the leaves are off and it's like everything's dead, those things they can stick out pretty easily then. And then you're thinking in the spring,
I think a lot of them get down inside of like blowdowns and stuff like that too.
They might,
because they're in there feeding in the wintertime and stuff like that, and their antlers are falling down in there. And
so I remember, have you ever heard of Jim Coster?
No.
So he was like, I feel like one of the OG shed hunting guys in New Hampshire back in the day. Like he used to hunt the area, like and shed hunt the areas that I used to hunt, and he had a wild room of sheds. I think he like sold them all, and he like doesn't even shed hunt anymore. But he had like it was like a little smaller than this, but he had like shelves going around the room, and it was just like literally like I think he had like 500 antlers or something like that from New Hampshire, or maybe more than that. I don't know, maybe more. But and there were some big ones too, like really big ones, a lot of really big ones, and if you shed hunted in the areas, that little big pocket, I guess, that he did, you would find snowshoe tracks and then ski poles, and then you knew he was in there, and he used to just fly around. Like, he just, like, super fast, and you'd know he was in there. Anyway, he said a lot of times he thinks if they're on, like, a oak hillside and they're in there feeding and they drop them in the snow, when the snow melts, they just kind of like go down to the bottom. Because he said he's found areas with like steep hillsides where it's like at the bottom, like there's a bunch of sheds stacked up. So I wonder if you're right. Like maybe they're just like, I don't know. I don't think I can account for all of them though. Maybe some of them. But it's like, where are these damn things?
I think the coyotes lug off.
They do that. I think that happens a lot.
I found them sitting right up on top of rocks and stuff before.
Yeah. That's like, there's no way someone just put it like, they would have brought that out with them. Yeah. No, I think that happens too. Some of the ones that like are on top of snow and they're like not fresh, like you look at and you're like, what happened there? But I don't know. I feel like there's enough people. I'm not saying that there's people like covering every inch of ground every year, but you would think that between
definitely isn't.
But you would think, between in the 3-year period, there's a decent chance a human's going to walk through a particular area enough to see a shed, and maybe not. But like that's just my thought. So it's like, where are all these damn antlers?
I find myself, a lot of the ones I find, they're like less than 10 feet from me.
I agree.
You're like,
you almost step on them. Yeah.
Well, yeah. One of them, I hung a camera on this tree, and I like turned around, and I got back like 10 feet, and I'm like looking, and I like look, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you're right. I think sometimes we look right at them and it doesn't even like register in our brain that we're looking at a shed, and we just keep going.
For sure.
But yeah, I also think some people have better eyes. They pick them up easier.
It's just usually not even on my radar when I walk in the woods. I'm usually doing something else.
Sometimes it is, but most of the time it's not. Sometimes I get weird feelings. Yeah, I just feel like it's like I think it's a shed around here.
Because I don't think if you're not thinking about it, I think you're just gonna overlook. Your mind is just whatever you're thinking about. Here's what you're looking for.
Well, I've even had situations where I've walked up on sheds and I'm looking at the shed, and then all of a sudden, like it's like, oh, I'm looking at a shed. It's like before there's no shed, and then it's like, oh, there's a shed. Yeah. But I didn't I don't know. It's just like all of a sudden it wasn't there, and I'm looking at the same thing, like walking up a trail, and then it's like, oh, it's right there. Like I should have seen that 20 yards ago, but I didn't, and I was looking right there, and I could obviously see it, and so I don't know. It's interesting how that works. You need dogs. That's what we need. You should train your dogs to pick up antlers when run bears. They get pretty distracted, I feel like. That's probably more effective with moose antlers, though, wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
they're really good at finding those, but maybe not so much.
There
deer.
are some pretty good dogs.
Do you know some? Yeah. Most of the people I know have dogs that find antlers. They say they find at best. This is from that I know in like this area. Like at best, they find half of the sheds that they find, and they say that sometimes literally they'll run by sheds that they'll see and like. So I don't know. I don't know how effective they. I think some dogs are probably awesome at it, but I don't think all of them are. I think it's more like the exception.
It's just like anything.
Yeah.
Some dogs are better than
like way better. Yeah. So, all right, it's late. You got anything else?
I don't think so.
You got anything, Matt?
Nothing.
Well, thanks for coming on. That was good. I actually I really enjoyed that. The bear stuff I'm very interested in it. It's cool to hear your experiences, and I don't think like that's something that's talked about. I don't know. I feel like deer gets a lot of attention, and turkeys, but I think bears are pretty cool, and I feel like I overlooked them for a long time, and I'm kind of like I wish I just had been paying attention and learning more about them because I think they're really interesting. So it's cool to talk to somebody like a lot of the stuff we talked about. Like I just literally just have no idea about. Just never.
There's probably a lot more. Well, I know there's way more research done on bears around here than there's deer.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, New Hampshire, Maine's got hundreds of bears collared.
Yeah.
I mean, they go into and do den research every winter.
So why is that? Because it's like, why would they not study deer? Like, what do you think that is? Why would they not study deer to the same level?
I don't know.
Like, what is our fascination with the bears?
I guess you'd have to get a biologist.
I wonder what that. Yeah, I don't know. It's because there's less of them. Do you think there's? That's a good question. How many? Do you think there's far less bears than deer?
Oh yeah.
Like, what do you think? If you had to guess numbers. 5 deer to every bear, 10 deer to every bear.
Well,
I think
how many bears get shot every year?
Well, no, I know that, but like that's not.
I think that they think that there's like 4,000 or 5,000.
4,000 or 5,000.
Something like that. 6. I don't know.
And what do they think there is?
They killed
like
they killed
100,000 deer.
I don't know what they killed 15 last year.
It's around there, and I think it's like. I don't know. I don't want to speak out of turn. We can Google it.
So, but on a good year, they're killing
SSAI.
800 to 1,000 bears, right? Somewhere in there. So
15 to 1? Could be. Let's see. How many deer are in New Hampshire? Yeah, estimates of 100,000. And you said 5,000?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so like 15, 20 to 1 potentially. I feel like sometimes I get way more pictures of bears than deer, though. Certain times of year, it's all I get pictures of. So I guess that the takeaway from that is the bears move, like a lot.
And if you have if you have a food source like beech nuts, or white acorns not so much because I don't think they prefer them. They're the same, but if that's very concentrated on like one one side hill, one
Yeah.
ridge. I mean, you're gonna have every bear for 3-4 miles in that spot. And
Which you potentially don't have the same. I don't feel like deer do it.
No, because deer are browsing.
Right. Yep.
They don't care.
Yeah.
Even if their acorns are there, they're going to eat
Yeah.
that, and then they're going to go over
Right.
there, and they're going to bed, and they're going to get up, and they're going to eat some buds or whatever, and
Yep.
they're going to go over, and
Yep.
they might come back to that.
Yep.
They're not straight. Their diet
Yeah.
isn't straight beech nuts or straight acorns.
Right. They just gorge.
The bears.
They just gorge. Like, they just find that thing.
Yeah, they eat it till it's gone, and they
Yeah.
move on to the next thing.
Right. So I guess the perception is probably if you're in one of those pockets where they all are, that there's a zillion of them. But really, it's like all the bears there. But then the next week or 2 weeks later, they could be in another one. So it's not like you don't ever see the bears, and then when you find the pocket, they're all there. The pocket keeps moving, so the bears just keep moving around, and it just seems like there's a lot of them. That's what I'm kind of getting. I've been kind of realizing this, and that like a lot of the bears that people see, like in a town, like you'll hear about a bear that's like literally all over the same town, and everybody sees them. Like we were talking about bird feeders or chickens or whatever. It's interesting. Well, cool. Got anything else? Any other interesting
Fun facts.
Yeah, seriously. What do you got? Anything
know.
else good?
Any other stories of almost dying?
You'd have to break it up for me to remember, but
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool learning about them. I like geeked out on deer so much that it's cool to learn about. Just kind of dive into a different species like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Lucas, thanks for coming.
no problem.
It was been good. We will see you guys on the next one.